Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, you should know that the story you're about to hear has quite a number of... well, don't say I didn't warn you.
The pizza has arrived.
He's alive. And he's hungry.
Needs tomato sauce.
Wait a minute. The story doesn't start that way. Ah, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, Ayo, let's begin at the beginning.
Welcome to the annual Horror Film Awards ceremony, in which the most outstanding monsters of the silver screen compete for the Golden Death Chicken. Please go into the theater now and take your seats and enjoy.
What did you just say?
Didn't you hear me?
Of course I heard you.
Good for you.
I'm not deaf.
Right, just dumb.
You jerk.
Lunatic.
Dan Murray. The boss has assigned this story to the two of us. If you don't come into the theater with me and do your part...
So, you don't think you can do it alone?
I think I'm more than capable.
You don't say.
Dan Murray, I'm going to go into that theater and write a Pulitzer Prize story by myself. You hear me?
You're gonna leave me out here in the cold in the dead of autumn?
I hope you freeze.
How can I keep myself warm?
Ayo, Dan. It was fabulous. I did so many interviews that we're going to have to ask the boss for more space. Fitz Randolph, Professor Fly, Chrome Hot, Eva Morte, the poet, the Grim Reaper, and the short guy from Monster Without a Cause.
Fascinating.
Yeah, you know, the one from... hey, what's that?
It's antifreeze.
Dan Murray, have you been out here drinking while I was in there doing your job? That's it. The byline is going to be mine and mine alone. They can fire you for all I care. What's more, if they ask me for a shovel to help dig your grave, I'll be more than happy to help. And if...
Hey, what's he up to?
Big Albert. In Fitz Randall's office. That's odd.
You were saying?
We have to go in there.
My thoughts exactly.
Finally, real investigative journalism. Come on, move it.
Sweetheart, my thing is sports writing. If he hits you with a baseball bat, call me.
And that's how it all started for Liz Allaire. She decided she was going into that office with or without Dan's help.
Jerk. Ayo, Dan. So how are you doing?
Better than you, my dear.
When the boss finds out who did all the interviews, you're going to be in hot water.
You won't find out. Liz Allaire's no stool pigeon. Or is she?
Sometimes I blurt out things without meaning to.
You wouldn't dare.
Try me. So, what exactly did you do wrong?
I met you.
You must have done something wrong for the boss to take you off your beloved sports section and put you on the society beat. Were you drunk on the job?
I never drink, my dear. Never.
You wrote something that didn't follow the paper's editorial line.
Always. I write what I feel like, however and whenever I want.
The boss is sick of your chronic lack of discipline.
He's been sick of me for years. It's gotten to be his default state.
Actually, I could care less what you did.
Fascinating.
I wonder what Big Albert is doing in Fitzrandolph's office.
No, don't tell me. You mean you still haven't found out? Liz Allaire, the famous investigative journalist. What pitiful results.
Do you want to hear the story of Big Albert?
I know it. I don't need you to...
Big Albert, previously known as the Creature, reanimated by electroshock, and assembled using body parts from the cadaver of an unlucky bodybuilder and the brain of the greatest scientist of our time. He created his own line of clothing and accessories 4 years ago. Nobel Prize in Medicine 3 years ago, Nobel Prize in Philosophy 2 years ago, Nobel Peace Prize last month. I'm finished. Lately, there's been a lot of monsters doing strange things. Am I right?
Frankie Dog-Faced Bowser disappeared for 3 days and came back with his face surgically altered. Now he's 10 years uglier. 70 in dog years.
This thing with Big Albert could be a scoop.
The most intelligent man in the world, caught red-handed. The Quill's Rubber Room reporter tells all in an exclusive.
You're a real people person, aren't you?
But the quota is filled, my dear. Try again next season.
Jerk.
Lunatic.
What were we talking about? Ah, yes. Careful with the antifreeze, it makes your complexion look all pasty.
A jab to the left, it's pumpkin punch. A jab to the right. Have you been drinking antifreeze?
No way. I just rubbed a little on my face. It was cold. I hope you freeze. Once got my head caught under the hood of my father's car. Anne-Marie, my smart sister, was being Tarzan. Queenie, my pretty sister, was Jane. I was Cheetah, and the car was the crocodile. Tubby the Third, Fitzrandolph's pet, is inside. He has a saw for a hand. How uncomfortable. Ayo, short stuff.
I knew you'd come. Take me with you.
Where?
To the great beyond, to my final resting place, to eternal peace.
No way, never on the first date.
Are you not my grim reaper, the angel of death, the bearer of the scythe, the stealer of souls?
Ah, now I know who you're talking about. It's a guy with hiccups who's still at the party. Quite elderly. I'm Liz, and you?
Phil, my time has not come. It never comes.
Have you seen Big Albert?
I have seen things you can't imagine. I've seen ivy grow higher on the wall. I've seen lightning bugs shining in the darkness near the door to the mansion. I've seen all this and much more, all of which will disappear in time. But Big Albert, no.
Are you feeling sad?
Sadness is the only real name of that which you call life.
Let's talk about you. I've never seen you before. What do you do?
Pull petals off the daisy of existence. I'm dying. I'm not dying. I'm dying. I'm not dying. I'm dying.
And what work do you do while you're pulling the petals off the daisy of existence?
Gardening. I plant, I water, I cut fence posts with the saw. I observe how everything decays in the relentless march of time.
What's behind this door?
My tool shed. my greenhouse, my vale of tears. Do you want to go in?
Never on the first date.
Disconcerting.
Why are you here doing nothing?
I'm not. I'm dragging myself toward the inevitable bitter end.
What do you do here, apart from dragging yourself toward the inevitable bitter end?
Lots of drunkards on the loose. They step on the grass. Hollow men crushing lilies underfoot in the land of death.
I'm sorry, I'm not gonna get any good headlines out of you. Hey, yeah, we'll talk later.
If we don't expire first.
This connects to Fitz Randolph's office, where Big Albert went in.
Hi-yo, miss. I thought you were going.
Mr. Fitz Randolph.
Now, come and sit beside me, Miss Allaire. I never imagined you were such a party girl.
Me? No. I'm still here because it's so pleasant here, don't you think?
You don't need an excuse, miss. My friend Murray's intern is always welcome.
Oh.
Actually, I was referring to your unusual style of dancing.
Oh, I see.
Have I offended you?
Yes. No. Maybe. It's just that... How is it that you're sitting here by yourself?
I love parties, but when you get to be my age... Since I'm the host, I can't go to bed. But at least here it's quiet.
In our interview earlier, I forgot to ask you... Do you get along with the stars of your super productions?
Well, I try to be a good employer, but it's not always easy. Fame goes to their heads. They do strange things.
Big Albert has...
Yes?
Yes, what?
Big Albert, what about him?
Is he feeling all right?
Miss, if this keeps up, I will end up understanding why they call you Loony Liz.
How's business going? Support your answer.
MKO is still the largest movie studio in the country and the world. We have made horror movies fashionable. And as long as that continues, nothing can touch us.
Donations, foundations, charity events. Do you have any time left for yourself?
I'm just doing my part for the less fortunate, miss. Without the little people below,
the cream of society would sink to the bottom.
How did you know I was going to say that?
I didn't.
Disconcerting.
Horror movies have allowed monsters to gain acceptance in society. Are you proud of that?
Not completely accepted, miss. It's true that we aren't persecuted anymore and that we finally have the same rights as everybody else, but unfortunately, there are still many minds to change. So many people judge other people by their appearance.
Thank you for your time. I'm nobody's intern.
Oh, pardon me. It's just that you're so young, and Murray is so you know what I mean, so Murray.
Dan is a sports writer. How do you know him?
I'll only say one thing. The Los Angeles Freaks. I'm the owner.
How nice.
The baseball team, miss. I bought it years ago, and Murray comes to all the games.
Why does everyone like Dan?
I don't want to seem arrogant, but Murray is like me. We're both self-made men, and we both have kept our common touch.
Dan's not worth talking about so much. What about my style of dancing?
Well, you're not accustomed to dancing in public.
I've never danced in public, but I look quite good in the mirror.
Then don't let anyone tell you otherwise. If I hadn't believed in myself when I was young, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Are you insinuating that I'm not a good dancer?
No, although society may not be prepared to see a woman move so many parts of her body so rapidly and with so much independence with respect to the rhythm.
Aha! I'm a feminist. Vegetable soup.
I don't understand. Do you want some?
What?
Vegetable soup.
What's in it?
Disconcerting.
Now, where were we? I'm gonna take a walk.
Just one thing, miss. As you're probably already aware, I know some of the best doctors in the country. including psychiatrists.
I have a cousin who's a veterinarian.
I've observed that you sometimes say disconcerting things.
Yes, I've done a lot of reading.
Yes, of course. It's, take the vegetable soup, for example.
Poor thing. Haven't you had dinner?
Yes. No, I won't keep you any longer.
Cons, I can't go into the hall that leads to Fitzrandolph's office while he's right there next to it. Pros, he gets along with Dan. This is the idea.
Bad idea.
Good.
Bad.
Jerk.
Lunatic.
Dan Murray, are you telling me that you do not intend to go into the mansion or to get Fitzrandolph away from the hall?
In a nutshell.
Well, okay then.
Okay.
Good.
Good.
But Liz Allaire was not a woman to give up easily, and she decided to convince Dan to get Fitzrandolph away from the hall.
Heyo, Dan. So how are you doing?
Better than you, my dear.
Why don't you help me get Fitzrandolph away from the hall?
Because I bet half my salary on the fight tonight, and in a little while they'll be announcing the winner.
That's no excuse. Come on, I only need you for 5 minutes.
It's a shame that I can't help you. A real shame.
You missed the fight because they sent you here as punishment. Do you confirm that?
That's not the worst. Mr. Boss set it up so they won't let me into the stadiums, racetracks, and arenas. They turned the faucet off. Gosh, I can't miss Friday. Manny Hammerboy Brown against Rico the Italian Stallion Sandretti. I would do anything to be there.
You bet money on a fight. Tell me more.
Jim Bad Blood Dixon against Ron Hellman Pearlboy. Small potatoes, at least compared to next Friday.
Let's change the subject. I hope you freeze. So, short stuff, you guarding the stairs?
Restricted area. Only person authorized, William A. Fitzrandolph.
Don't worry, I'm not trying to go up. Fitzrandolph's private quarters are up there, right?
Restricted area.
What happens if I go up the stairs?
I punch you.
I have good manners because I went to finishing school. How about you?
Negative.
Well, it's been a pleasure. See you later.
Negative.
Ayo, short stuff. I don't have anything against your brother over there, but I bet you're the nice one in the family, aren't you?
Restricted area. Only person authorized, William A. Fitzrandolph.
I see. Fill in the blanks. Dan Murray was so dumb that in school he got one
Negative.
after another. But he managed to get a job. And one day he touched a co-worker's,
Restricted area.
and she, who was as clever as she was a good dancer, said to him,
I punch you.
"Let me go up, short stuff."
Restricted area.
Well, it's been a pleasure. See you later.
Negative.
Nice glasses. These could be Professor Fly's. Miss Allaire, could you confirm that the reading room is being remodeled? Confirmed. Thank you. You're welcome. My pleasure. Nice painting. Large cans of white paint and little ones with blue pigment. The cans of pigment weigh less. My father once caught me sliding down the banister at home, rear end first. My backside stung for hours. Did the workers leave this behind? If there was anything in the pockets, someone got here before me and took it. Heyo, Edgar. What are you doing at the window?
Heyo, weren't you going?
Oh, sometimes I'm going and sometimes I'm coming. What are you doing at the window?
Shall I take your jacket again?
I'm gonna be coming and going. What are you doing at the window?
Rehearsing.
Ah, you've been cast in a movie?
No, just rehearsing for the sake of rehearsing. With my looks, nobody can believe I'd be competent as a monster in front of the camera.
Out-of-work actor. Coat check attendant. Obvious synergies. They don't let you play monsters?
No, with my looks, I don't scare anyone. At the auditions, I don't even get to act. They send me packing as soon as they lay eyes on me.
How long have you been working for Fitz Randolph?
About a month. He pays well, and he's nice.
What type of work are you doing right now?
A little of everything. Maintenance, basically. I do whatever needs doing.
And Fitz Randolph can't give you a recommendation?
No, that would compromise his integrity. He gives his producers and directors complete artistic freedom and never interferes in things like casting.
Was your appearance this original when you were a boy?
Yes, from day one. I was born in a beautiful and absolutely ordinary place, with your typical farm animals. Why did I turn out peculiar? Your guess is as good as mine. Whims of Mother Nature.
Enough said. Let's move on. I like books. Who does the one on the table belong to?
To me, for autographs. I've gotten them from all the celebrities at the party. Except for Hammer Boy Brown.
20, 12, 1, 4.
I don't understand. Why did you say that?
To help myself relax. It works every time. Go on, rehearse. I'll watch you.
I'm on it.
So now he's into rehearsing. Poor thing. Edgar's autograph book. It's Blue Harrelson, the star of Vulcan Flash in the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, who disappeared without a... Wait a minute. Edgar! You are Vulcan Flash.
I wish.
Seriously, you could pass for him. Now you have a job.
Blue, strange eyes, dressed like this. Impossible. I'm very grateful to you, but no.
Maybe it was out of generosity or stubbornness, or just because she happened to feel like it. But Liz decided that very night she would convince Edgar of his future as Vulcan Flash. For that, her original mind came up with a mental image that she decided to call the Complete Alien Kit, which she would equip with everything required for this altruistic goal.
Yes, 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 yes! The effect is positively alien. On second thought, the color blue is a fundamental characteristic of the Great Vulcan Flash. Agreed. He's not exactly the guy in the poster, but close enough. If I'm not mistaken, my Complete Alien Kit is ready for action. Can you confirm that for me, Miss Allaire? Confirmed. The alien kit is complete. Finally, the moment has arrived for opening the refrigerator. There's my Edgar.
You talking to me?
I am going to put an end to your sad life. Exciting, huh?
No, I don't understand.
Oh, Edgar, don't you see the Vulcan Flash poster?
I am identical to him, the new Vulcan Flash. Next audition, I'm going straight to the top.
Thank you for convincing me, Liz, Edgar continued. I'll make it in the movies as an alien.
Yes. This is all very well and good. But ask me about What's-His-Name Brown's jacket.
Oh no, the jacket. Where is it?
Put away. I was afraid you'd drip on it when you drank the pigment.
You think of everything.
And this is where you tell me I get to keep it.
You're right.
I suppose that's the least I can do for you,
That's the least I
Liz.
can do for you, Liz. Eh?
How did you know what I was going to
what
say?
I was going to say?
I had no idea. And now I'm telling you to go back to rehearsing, okay?
I'm on it.
He's in such a hurry, and I haven't even told him. Is he talking to himself? Could there be anything in the pockets? Ah, look, how convenient. Boxing. There must be someone who likes it. Dan, have you seen me eat paper?
Can't say I've had the pleasure.
Watch. I have here 2 pieces that say Rico, the Italian Stallion Sandretti versus Manny, Hammerboy Brown.
Give them to me.
Fitz Randolph, away from the hall. Now.
Hey, Willie.
Murray, my friend, you doing good?
Better than you.
When are we gonna get together, throw a few punches?
I'd like to throw back a drink. I see you're empty.
What a guy.
And that was how Liz convinced Dan to get Fitz Randolph away from the hall.
How strange. Being Dan's, I expected to find a trunk full of old, dirty, worthless junk. But apart from this empty oil can and a baseball bat, there's nothing. Dan's. It's half full. Hey, there's something on it. Hey, there's something on it. A crank handle. Now I can. Is he asleep? Good. closed. Life is like a crocodile. Wait a minute. Aren't the offices of Fitz Randolph and his secretary connected? Even if they are... It's a still photograph from the sinister caped light bulb, a huge hit for MKO. Spencer McDundy. He's actually Australian, but for some reason he's good at playing Scottish ghosts. Sparky, the Vulcanian sheep. Vulcan Flash's faithful pet. It could be another office, but I have no idea. It's still closed. Hey yo, short stuff.
Hey-o, nice night. Considering that at this time of year...
You open office doors, right?
Affirmative. Considering that at this time of year, it usually cools...
What's your name, sweetheart?
Jimmy Love. It usually cools down. But autumn, as you know, comes late and all...
Look, Jimmy, I'm not going to ask you to open Fitz Randolph's office.
Only authorized subject, William A. Fitz Randolph. Late and all at once.
But his secretary's yes. Okay, sweetheart?
Only authorized subject, Beverly Torrance. Hair blonde, eyes blue, bust 50, waist 24, hips 36, negative identification.
Access denied.
Access denied? Liz said to herself. We'll just see about that.
Aren't you the charmer?
Integrated elevator conversation chip. We'll have to start dressing more warmly.
Informational topic unit. Doors. Open the first door for me.
I have never opened it. It's not possible. Jammed. Maybe it's the humidity. A lot of humidity these last few winters.
Open the second door.
Only authorized subject, Beverly Torrance. Hair blonde, eyes blue, bust 50, waist 24, hips 36, negative identification.
Access denied.
Open the third door.
Access denied.
But I was in here just last month when I interviewed your boss.
It was a lovely morning, but it drizzled in the afternoon. The weather is crazy.
Who is Beverly Torrance?
Beverly Torrance, secretary, authorization, door 2. Although at this time of year you know how it is. If you dress warmly, sunshine, and if not, you freeze to death.
Informational topic unit closed. Are you sleepy?
Power conservation mode, low on oil. Isn't the autumn sun splendid?
It is to be believed because it is absurd. Tertullian.
Disconcerting. I don't understand.
That is the path. I don't understand, but I believe.
I don't understand, but I don't understand.
Hey, time for bed, sweetheart. Great idea. Pumpkin punch in a can of motor oil. Anyone care for some? Pumpkin punch, Jimmy?
I'd like to, but Mr. Fitz Randolph will fire me if he sees me drinking. He only lets us drink oil so that we don't rust.
He's in the ballroom. He won't see you.
No, 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 I don't dare. He could show up at any moment, like a summer thunderstorm.
Don't worry, I'll figure out something else. But you'll have your punch. I bet you can't guess what's inside this oil can.
Affirmative. Suddenly, everything is like cloudy. The weather is just crazy.
Hey, yo, Jimmy.
Nice night.
Open the second door for me.
Unauthorized subject, Beverly Torrance. Hair blonde, eyes blue. Bust 50. Waist 24, hips 36. Positive identification. Access allowed.
And that was how, with the help of the pumpkin punch, Liz got Jimmy Love to open the door to the secretary's office.
Thanks, sweetheart. Fitzrandolph Mansion, Halloween night. My exclusive interview with Big Albert. Hey, you, Albert. Liz Allaire of the Quill.
Huh?
4 questions. 20. Can you tell me your motive for sneaking into the magnate Fitzrandolph's office? 12. What's that in your hand? 1. Are the rumors that say you're a kleptomaniac true, or did I just invent that to get under your skin a bit? 4. Are you listening?
Now, give this to the immaterial man. Hurry.
Poor Liz. For once, fortune seemed within reach, only to elude her. On the other hand, if she had managed to get into Fitzrandolph's office, she would only have solved the mystery surrounding Big Albert after reading that note.
Pencils. What luck! Not even chewed on. It's strange that Fitzrandolph has such an obsolete model. After all, he bankrolls the inventions of Professor Fly, who's designed more advanced phonographs than this. Wasn't this in the other office? She's not altogether ugly. Too many curves. Fitzrandolph is clever. One turn of the phonograph crank, and the table, part of the floor, and the wall turn, and this appears. Listen to what I'm telling you, Liz. The rose-colored bed. William A. Fitzrandolph's dirty laundry. A Liz Allaire exclusive. Forget it. The gossip rags don't interest me. This is where Fitzrandolph dictates his letters to his secretary, but only the long ones. I haven't listened to the radio since my internship at JUNK in Los Angeles. You get sick of it. I don't need it for anything. The things it must have seen. An ice bucket, tongs, and a can of caviar. Expensive caviar. My sister, Anne-Marie, the smart one, uses it to make sandwiches. Tubby the Third is in there with the notebook that Big Albert threw away after tearing out a sheet for Phil. You're awfully crabby, Tubby. If I want the notebook, I'll have to think of something. And the magic word for today is caviar. But the real magic would be if something was written on it. Warehouse ASAP.
When she finally found out what Big Albert's note said, Liz headed to Fitzrandolph's storeroom located behind the mansion.
To the warehouse, then. Hopefully Big Albert and Immaterial Man are still there. I'll turn on my tape recorder.
Easy now.
Immaterial?
The people who did this will be back. Help me.
Count me in. What do I do? I'm your girl.
The important part is safe and sound now. We'll simply bury the rest. Lights out.
At noon the following day, Dan was awakened by a ringing telephone. It was his boss. Liz and Dan hadn't shown up at the paper that day, and he was, how can I put it, pretty angry.
I won't tolerate another screw-up. You hear me, Mr. Murray? You know, you don't understand it. If the story about last night's award ceremony doesn't make the Sunday edition, you and Miss O'Lear are going to be in hot water. That's clear, Murray?
Very, very hot water, he screamed down the phone. Reluctantly, Dan went back to Fitzrandolph's mansion. Edgar told him that Liz had been seen going into the storeroom, where she evidently was no longer. Finding out what had happened to his beloved colleague was not going to be that easy.
Beloved? My foot. Los Angeles Stadium, Friday night. Manny Brown, Rico Sandretti. That's what counts. I have one at home just like it. I always sleep on it, except when I have, company. It's wood burning. Why, I've carried bundles like those, and even bigger ones. But, step by step, I've managed to get to where I am today. Doesn't this belong to that lunatic? Not that I pay attention to what she wears. Let's hope I don't find more of her clothes lying around here. What's it to me? Must be from some movie. An 8-pack. Half my salary, they belong to Octopus Herring. Psychedelic. MKO pansies. Ha! It seems like Willie has some enemies. He must have really tied one on. That belongs to the chupacabras. He never plays it in public. Charangote. This is a kit for making margaritas. But the salt shaker shaped like a cactus is kind of funny. Oh, it's Robo Payne's workshop. What's this? One of the chupacabra's claws. And I thought they were natural. Nothing. That's not the way to get out. They're in there cleaning up after the party, or something like that. And the robots aren't letting anyone in. Plus, Willie might be in there, and he'd invite me to stay for lunch or something, and that would bog me down. It was in the trunk. I always carry it in the car. It doesn't matter in which car. My editor lent it to me. It's his wife's. His is in the repair shop because... He lent it to me because mine has been in a slight accident. Some people never learn. People lose all kinds of stuff at parties. Well, what do you know? It's that idiot Mr. Death's soul extractor. Oh, yes. He was at the party, dying of hiccups, dancing without a partner. What a life. Why not? I know that this makes no sense, but this is my chance to use a bat. Pirate flicks. Can't stand them. Period. Fascinating. Oh, if I really gave it my all, I could, but behind it has the mother of all knots. I don't know what I wanted for, but when you come from a neighborhood like mine, that's never the right question to ask. Closed. Hey! You in there! Ayo! And who wants to get in? No ferry service today. That's the one that goes to the studios. Willie's Monster Factory. I don't see why people are so impressed with it. Attaboy. Ayo, Tabby. Attaboy, attaboy. No, I didn't bring you any caviar today, you glutton. Aya, go lay down. I haven't seen him since he was Tabby the Second. Could he have a genetic memory? It's Liz's. I'd stake half my salary. Ayo, Tabby. Ayo, buddy. I've got a job for you. Attaboy, Tabby, attaboy. That's a long way down. Ayo, Wacko. You need a man's hand? Yeah. If she's in there, it's up to me to get her out. According to Tabby, Liz is down there. It's too far. How would I get back up? Will this hold if I tie it?
Count me in. What do I do? I'm your girl.
Help me hide Big Al inside.
In the sarcophagus?
Yes. It'll save us time. Now let's get out of here, or...
If you try it, you can consider yourselves toast. Your two-bit invisibility tricks won't work with me, Material Man. You and the lovely Miss Alaire shall be escorted to your new quarters by my assistant.
I can escort myself.
Chloroform.
I know who you are. Do you think you're better than a Sure. Hey.
Now that he knew what had happened to Liz, Dan would only be able to find her by going after Big Albert. The sarcophagus, said Edgar. They took it to the Temple of Eternal Illusion. Now we're really in trouble, replied Dan. The Temple of Eternal Illusion. Headquarters of the famous sorceress known as High Priestess Chrome-Ha. It was completely impenetrable. Whoever entered was observed and analyzed by a scanner, which detected any sign of cerebral activity, and once inside, it was filled with deadly traps out of which no one had ever escaped. The game was becoming increasingly difficult, but Dan had come too far. Plus, his feelings for Liz were becoming more intense all the time.
That ninny. Thanks to her, I'm going to be on the ropes again. If she's lost those tickets... His first name is Elmer, Edward, Ethan, Kaidanovsky. Tabby must have dropped this. These pets expire so quickly nowadays. Ayo, Kaidanovsky.
Back, you bloody earthling, or I'll vaporize you with my hypergalactic laser.
Are you stupid or what?
What a guy. But don't call me by my last name. I'm Edgar to my friends.
Fascinating.
Anyway, have you found out anything about our mutual friend?
Mutual? You're mistaken there. But tell me, why are you dressed like an idiot?
I'm the new Vulcan Flash.
Good for you. And who is this idiot?
Don't pretend. Everyone knows who Vulcan Flash is.
I am not everyone.
Well, except for an Amundsen. There, he is called Vidigues Jimenez. They censored the original name Because if you substitute an H for the V, a J for the U, an O for the F, an M for the C, and you say it backwards, you get a really bad word.
I love the graffiti.
Well, Mr. Fitz-Randolph doesn't. That's why my job is to clean it off.
Half my salary says the graffiti is Octopus Herring's work.
For sure. Do you know that in Amundsen, it's forbidden to put octopi in your socks, punishable by spanking?
Fascinating. Is Willie around?
He was at the mansion, but he asked them to get the Zeppelin ready. Maybe he's already there.
MKO Pansies, what's that about?
A new direction for MKO. Fitz-Randolph wants to get out of the horror business and dedicate himself to family films.
Family films don't interest me, but go on.
Just that. Romantic comedies, children's films, even musicals.
I'm still not interested in family films. Go on.
The problem is that not all of the monster actors are in favor of the change, and they're trying to boycott it. In part, I understand them. You build a career scaring people, and then they make you play the Cookie Monster.
This is starting to bore me. Let's move on. So, they've taken the sarcophagus away. Where did they take the sarcophagus?
To the Temple of Eternal Illusion.
And what's this about the temple being impenetrable?
It is. No one's ever gotten in, except for Kromha's performances on Tuesdays. The best part is that the people in the audience don't even know how they got in. They're outside waiting in line, and then suddenly, bam! They're inside, comfortably ensconced in their assigned seats.
What day is it today?
Saturday.
Oh. What is the temple in reality?
A temple.
Oh, you're really asking for it.
What a guy. It's a pyramid that Kromha had brought from Egypt, block by block.
Enough about the temple for the moment. So, who convinced you to dress like an idiot?
You'll never guess. Our friend Liz.
Aya Ellis.
Yeah, Dan.
At last, they opened it.
I'll help you construct, erect it, put together in any weather.
Scientifically impossible.
I'm going to die anyhow.
Morally reprehensible.
But what about poetry, beauty, purity, and artistry?
Economically inviable.
Well, I'll get into one of these.
I won't discuss it. You won't fit, poet.
You won't fit. You won't fit.
Whoa, take it easy, Gargantua.
Come on. Hey-o, Dan Murray.
Guilty as charged. And you, Half-Pint?
What a guy. Professor Fly, at your service.
Good. And that idiot outside? What's with him?
The poet? He wants me to build him a custom-made teletransporter booth.
Tell a what?
Oh, a neophyte. Let me show you. Two booths. The foolhardy volunteer gets into one of them. And instantly appears in the other.
Does the duck get frequent flyer miles?
Interesting.
Dan understood the great potential in that magnificent invention for furthering his plans, and he made it known to Professor Fly.
Not bad. Have you got a volunteer half-pint? Apart from the rubber ducky?
Oh, I wish. The poet wanted to, but I won't even discuss it.
Well, now you have one. Let's get on with it.
Oh, that would be morally reprehensible. The teletransporter is still in the Zeta stage. It's randomly lethal, lethally random, especially for the liver. It is for that reason that I only accept volunteers that meet 3 requirements.
1, said Fly, they have to be completely expendable to society. 2, their life expectancy must be less than 1 year, 2 months, 9 days, and 37 minutes. 3, they must pass my psychological test for the purpose of accrediting psychic devastation to the utmost degree.
My life expectancy is almost nil.
Are you sure? That's experimentally demonstrably experimental. Do you see that machine in the corner?
Better than you. I don't have bug eyes.
What a guy. But it's true. I can't see all that well because I lost my glasses yesterday. So the machine is called a life-o-meter. It uses the breath to determine the subject's total remaining life expectancy down to the minute.
How much time until he kicks the bucket, right?
Definitively positive. Positively definitive.
What do I have to do for you to consider me socially expendable?
I won't discuss it. You work at the Quill. You're a sports journalism genius.
What do you have to say about the poet? Is he stupid or just pretending to be?
Well, the poet of pain is peculiar.
Peculiar?
Yes, peculiar.
Peculiar in what way?
In a peculiar way.
I get it. Very peculiar?
Between somewhat and very peculiar.
Peculiar, period?
What they call peculiar.
Like this peculiar attempt at a conversation.
It is a somewhat peculiar conversation, yes.
Is this peculiar conversation getting us anywhere?
No, but if you keep insisting, I'm going to start thinking that you're peculiar.
Peculiar? Me?
Peculiar. You.
Me? Peculiar?
You. Peculiar.
Me? But wasn't it the poet who was peculiar?
Well, the poet of pain is peculiar.
Why can't he be your volunteer?
Unfortunately, that's scientifically impossible, since my teletransporter booth won't accommodate him. Economically inviable, the cost of building a booth his size would be astronomical, and morally reprehensible, as we are talking about one of the greatest literary figures of our time.
Has he always gone in for verse?
He used to be a stunt double in the movies. He has a very high tolerance to pain, so he would do anything. He used to specialize in the most physically punishing stunts. The best part is that afterwards, he would tell his colleagues all about the pain he'd experienced. He did it so poetically that someone said to him, "You have got to write this down, man."
Poets. Enough nonsense. Back up to the ceiling, half-pint.
What a guy.
Almost as orderly as my desk at the Quill. A little screen. strange. Let's see, how many decades do I have left?
Years, 5 months, 6 days, 12 hours, 9.
5 years, 6 months, 12 days, 9 hours. Revolting machine. And the worst thing is that I'd have to have less than 2 years left to live for Fly to accept me to be his volunteer. Listen up. I'm going to be the volunteer for... What? You're burning your own hand?
Pain inspires me. A new verse, a fresh new verse. An infernal sun scorches my skin. Implacable, two-faced, cruel.
Want me to break your face? It's no trouble.
No, very trite. It doesn't inspire me. New pains for new verses. Give me novelty.
Good. You stay right here. You're going to go nuts over this. Heyo, poet.
Poet, poet, poet.
Recite one of these verses of yours that are so painful.
One? Which?
The one inspired by the burning yourself with the magnifying glass.
An infernal sun scorches my skin. Implacable, two-faced, cruel.
Something from one of your earlier books.
I don't repeat myself. I repeat.
One that you think up here and now.
I have no inspiration. Give me novelty.
I've changed my mind. Keep your poetry. Are you sure you don't want to be Fly's volunteer?
Absolutely.
My words are enough to cause you pain.
Words too hurt. Interesting concept.
Your mother has a mustache.
What a guy.
You're peculiar.
That's what they say.
You don't understand. I mean peculiar in a very bad way.
Peculiarity is not a bad thing. Peculiar is peculiar.
Yeah, but I'm saying it in a slightly peculiar way.
Peculiar?
Peculiar.
Who is peculiar?
You are peculiar.
That's what they say.
Half my salary says you found your wardrobe in the bottom of a landfill.
What wardrobe? But I only have these clothes.
Forget it. It's not worth insulting you, you mental midget. Heya.
Heya.
I've got something that might inspire you.
Novelty. Give me novelty.
Come on, extract your soul. See if that hurts. So, a new verse?
I'm inspired. It's coming to me. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Well, share it.
And you think that doesn't hurt? I've lost a molar.
What a verse, my friend. What a verse.
Thank you, friend. Thank you, friend.
I've got something that might inspire you.
Novelty, novelty, give me novelty.
Lemon and salt. So, a new verse?
I'm inspired. It's coming to me. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Well, share it.
Like a ravenous zombie, my right eye devours my brain.
What a verse, my friend. What a verse.
Thank you, friend. Thank you, friend.
He's going to go nuts over this. So, a new verse?
I'm inspired. It's coming to me. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Well, share it.
My ear, by 1,000 bees, mortally wounded, bursts joyfully.
What a verse, my friend. What a verse.
Thank you, friend. Thank you, friend.
If I destroy the boss's wife's car and I let him know it was me, he'll fire me. But then Fly would accept me as a volunteer, and I'd be closer to finding Liz and the story I need to keep from getting fired, which at that point wouldn't do me any good. So, left jab, I go about my business, invent a story, and keep my job. It wouldn't be the first time. Right jab, I get myself fired and I start looking for a half-witted, insufferable daddy's girl, and Los Angeles Stadium, Friday night. Manny Brown, Rico Sandretti. That's all that matters. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I went too far. When the boss sees this, I'm out of a job. Loose ends. That's the end of it. I wish. I'm supposed to put this in the car? Ah. Heyo, Tabby. Thanks for the help back there, buddy. Hey, go lay down. No, it won't do him any good now. Tommy dies every autumn and is reborn every spring. I've got nothing to lose.
Years, 0 months, 0 days, 19 hours, 3.
I know. Pretty impressive, huh?
19 days left to live. Poor guy.
That's what I call a minimum life expectancy, said Fly.
Calm down. As long as I make it to the fight on Friday, everything's fine.
What a guy. I'm coming! Everything okay?
Let's get to the psychic devastation test. What do you want to bet I beat the record?
Let's get to work. They're just 4 little ink blots. What do you see there?
A hellish sun scorches my skin. Implacable, two-faced, cruel.
Great answer. Come on, you've only got 3 left. What do you see there?
My eardrum by 1,000 bees, mortally wounded, buzzing, thunderously ruptures.
Great answer. You still have 2 left. What do you see there?
A ravenous zombie, my right eye devouring my brain.
Great answer. Let's see how you do on the last one. What do you see there?
How is that not supposed to hurt? I've lost a molar.
Great answer, and congratulations,
said Fly. You're so absolutely morally dissipated that you passed the test. But don't go overboard. I could still fail you.
My talent as a writer has run out of gas. I'm socially expendable now.
I'm sorry to be so contemptibly frank, but this is frankly contemptible. If your boss can't get along without you, it's because you've still got a lot to give. I won't discuss it.
Who cares about the 3 requirements? I'll be your volunteer.
Highly inappropriate. On what basis?
You got me. I'll meet your 3 requirements. Almost as orderly as my desk at the Quill. Pass the test. Who needs the machine? When the boss sees this, I'm out of a job. I'm supposed to put this in the car? Ah. I'd grab it, but I'm too busy being sarcastic. Absence. Is it clear that this can't be grabbed, or do I write an article?
Fly's boat still held some surprises for our friend Murray.
I don't know what it is. I don't want to know. You shouldn't leave these things all over the floor.
Murray, careful walking there. Don't step on my camera.
I'm on top of everything. Do I look like a photographer of... Wait a minute. Hey, buddy!
Murray! You got a form for execution by firing squad?
Oh, well, I don't know, but I'll check.
Bring me a termination letter!
So, what do you think?
It's uniquely unthinkable. Unthinkably unique.
Dan Murray is socially expendable, said Fly.
So then, I've got everything right?
You've passed the test. Society considers you expendable. In no time at all, you'll be kicking the bucket.
Dan Murray, you're the perfect volunteer. Good. Let's get to it, replied Dan.
Well, here we go.
Since the booths were working, Dan's next step was clear. He had to send one of them to the residence of the High Priestess Chrome Ha.
Everything okay?
Teletransporting yourself 5 meters is for amateurs.
That's probably true and truly probable. What do you suggest? I can't leave a booth just lying around.
The storeroom at the mansion. I have access to it. It'll be safe.
That's good, but it's heavy.
You're speaking to Dan Murray. Relax. I'll distract the dynamic Uno. You get in, leave the booth, and get out of there. You got it?
Assimilated and comprehended.
What are you waiting for?
Impossible, Dan. I cannot remove the tattoo on the chupacabras.
Well, and this one? It's smaller.
No, not small, not large, not...
Showtime. Well, here I am. So now what? I've got an idea. I'll paint it like a sarcophagus. But, I'll never get it right. It'll never work. Impossible. Well, what do you know? Hey, Space Cadet!
Back, Earthling!
There's a sarcophagus in the storeroom.
No way. I already told you that they took it away before, Earthling.
And I say that with those glasses, you can't see a thing.
Seriously?
Seriously, not one thing.
No. Now, about the sarcophagus.
Seriously, you're already calling. Let them come pick it up.
Take it easy, be careful. And don't you dare scratch my balls there.
Good. Eleonoro says it will take some time to get the booth to the temple. I'll take advantage of the time and get ready for the next big round.
Why am I so good to you? Let's see if it's all clear, vermin. I get in the sarcophagus. You close the door. With my foot, I activate the hidden false bottom. You open the door. The audience is stunned. I'm gone. It's completely empty. Understood?
Mistress, where do you want the large sarcophagus?
What sarcophagus?
But looking like that?
Hey, I'm gonna be there in 3 seconds. Give me an Egyptian head honcho's name.
Amenophis the third.
Yep, it's me.
Draw and quarter him.
I am the Supreme Head Honcho Amenophis III, Lord of Egypt, quarterback of the Nile, MVP of the...
Be still. Amenophis the third?
The third in the flesh.
I don't know if I remember. Why have you come?
Baby, I'm your midnight camel driver.
I find your brashness tempting, but why should I accept you?
I'm looking for the High Priestess Kromha, the woman with the best front end I've ever seen.
You're looking at her.
I'm lost, ever since I lost the dame that gave my life meaning.
I guess that woman is me, right? Your tongue is altogether too loose, Amenophis. But you're lucky that I'm so good. Come with me.
Finally, Dan had done it. He had teletransported himself to the Temple of Eternal Illusion. And if nothing went wrong, he'd live to tell the tale. But unfortunately, the future wasn't looking very bright for everyone involved.
Good afternoon, Miss Hilaire. Are you hungry?
20. Why did you knock me out? 12. What did you do to me? 1. My head and my left ear ache. 4. If you come any closer, I will bite you.
At least the pain should pass within the hour. The captain would like you to dine with him. Put this on.
No. Today's the 1st of the month.
Do it, or
I never dress in black on dates that are prime numbers.
you'll die naked with the crew.
You've got a point. It's actually more dark gray. Can I untie me?
So, how was it for you?
It was wonderful, Amenophes. I haven't had a man treat me like that in a long time. No less than what I deserve.
Good for you.
Now you will be my guest. I'll treat you right, and you'll stay by my side forever.
Honey, I'm more of a short-term guy.
That's not the impression I got.
A question of practice. Do me a favor, call your robots and tell them to open the sarcophagus in the theater for me.
Ah! You just can't be good in this life, can you? Amenophes III, not everything in this house can be had so easily.
Forget it. I'll ask the robots myself. And you?
They'll never listen to you. Dr. Zelsius programmed them to obey only the person who is wearing the pendant I have on. And which, as you can see, I never take off under any circumstances.
Fascinating.
Yes, Dan said, fascinating. But he was really thinking, sooner or later, that pendant will be hanging around my neck. Because things being what they are, I'm going to need it to teletransport Big Albert to Fly's laboratory.
You're mine, Amenophes. Take care of my desires and you'll never want for anything. Otherwise, just ask the Oracle of the Shadows.
It's full of coins. Intriguing coins, but right in front of her? Madam.
Speak.
There's only one thing that interests me. You. So, what's it like being a mummy?
It has its pros and its cons. Being dead means I don't have to shave my legs as often, but having to have your bodily fluids changed every 15 days is a bit of a pain. I'm much better at it than any other mummy, of course, but it's still a pain.
How did you get into illusionism with all the money you have?
I'm better at it than anyone else, and I like it. And maintaining a body like mine isn't exactly cheap.
I could go on talking about you forever, but... Come on, let me have the pendant.
Never, Amenophes. I will give you many things, but never that.
So where is this Oracle of the Shadows?
Go out that door and over to the other side of the room till you reach the double doors. You'll recognize him without a doubt.
Command me to kiss you, darling.
What a guy. Now do it, or I'll have you drawn and quartered.
Advice from an expert. Never shut your eyes when kissing. I have to leave you, for now. The duck makes me think that it's not one of the big ones. The robots are stunned. I'll go up to the sarcophagus casually.
Out, comrade.
Anything wrong?
Not as far as I'm concerned, comrade. Absolutely nothing. Just following orders.
In English.
Kron Hal's orders were extremely clear. If Comrade Amenophes gets near the sarcophagus, draw and quarter him.
I get it.
Nothing personal, of course. I happen to like him.
good for you?
I'm Petzo, at your service. Pay no attention to my comrade Ducky. He's out of it.
Ignore your orders and let me get close to the sarcophagus.
I would, comrade. Rebelling is tempting, but the yoke of duty is too powerful. As long as Crom Ha has the pendant that controls us, neither Ducky nor I can do anything for you. Nothing good, anyway.
The sarcophagus has something of mine inside. Will you give it to me?
I don't know. What do you say, Ducky? Think, fool!
I say we let him. What if the false bottom was hiding a friend of a Manofis and he fell asleep inside by accident?
Do you know what, Ducky? You're very stupid! Stupid, stupid, stupid! Request denied. And please excuse Comrade Duck. He's out.
Aren't you going to go on a break sometime?
Hey, we're robots. We don't take breaks. Tireless proletariat, exploited by an unscrupulous noblewoman who crushes our dreams of liberty.
Ignore your orders and let me get close to the sarcophagus.
I would, comrade. Rebelling is tempting, but the yoke of duty is too powerful. As long as Crom Ha has the pendant that controls us, neither Ducky nor I can do anything for you. Nothing good, anyway.
Back to Ducky. Is he good for anything?
Don't insult him, comrade. We are all part of the proletariat. There are parrots on skates, poodles that dance, and then there's Ducky, who does magic tricks, thinks, and sings.
Tell Ducky to do a trick for me.
You fool! Do some magic!
Changing the subject.
Hey, comrade.
I don't believe in magic, but one must be practical. Half my paycheck says he's the Oracle. You there, Mr. Timid. Are you the...
I am the Oracle of the Shadows.
Good to see you. I am the Supreme Head Honcho of...
What a guy! You're Daniel Murray, chronicler of sports contests, author of bedroom contests. You're trying to get Crom Ha's pendant using cunning ruses, but she'll never surrender it to you. Your only chance is to send her back to the land of the dead, which she should never have left.
I get it. And how do I do that?
You shall read the Book of the Dead.
Fascinating. Is it very long?
Very dangerous, even for a scribe like you. If you misread the hieroglyphics, you could bring about the opposite and bring hell to the land of the living. Cataclysmic, hecatombik. I will test your mettle, scribe.
You shall bring me 8 hieroglyphics, not 7 or 9, but 8, said the oracle. With these, I shall give you a syntax test, and if you pass, I shall take you to the Book of the Dead.
Ayo yourself. Talk to me.
It's a compendium of tricks for surviving after you've perished. But you'll be interested to know that it also contains spells that can return mummies like Crom Ha to the kingdom of the dead. You know, Crucio, Imperio, Avada Kedavra, things like that.
So, you're an
oracle, eh?
So, who's gonna...
3,000 coins up front and 50% of your winnings.
Huh?
You're planning to use my answer to place a bet, right?
You insult me. I'm not doing business with you. Half my paycheck says that you're one of those people that only think about money. How is it that you...
I'm an oracle. It's part of the job. If you can't predict things, they don't recommend you for the job.
I know of...
Elizabeth Allaire. You quite like her, don't you?
What I really like is thinking that you are a baseball and that I'm next up to bat.
You don't like her. You don't admire her. You don't find her attractive. She doesn't catch your attention. She doesn't affect you whatsoever.
Good move.
The subject?
The High Priest...
Priestess Cromha.
What would happen?
She can be very creative. She submerged me, for example, in a tank with 3 jellyfish. Not 2, not 4, not 1, not 5, but 3 jellyfish that left me stiff with skin that looked like a hamburger. Then Cromha herself mummified me and revived me to humiliate and ridicule me.
Why did she...
Because I touched her.
You touched...
A lot. Too much.
You're not reassuring me. Are you sure?
Never, not in a million years will you get anything more from her than one refusal after another.
Is there some way?
None. Not 1, not 2, not 30, not 13. None. Cromha to one side.
Aya.
Aya.
Cromha tied the oracle up here until the jellyfish stung him all over his body. Then she mummified and revived him. And then they want to tell you that women aren't complicated? What is it with these people that they have to put wings on everything? Looks just like Bobby Russell, the trainer for the LA Freaks. With what it took me to get into the temple, I'm not going anywhere. I hate beetles. The thing is, I only see males. It makes sense, or there'd be a massacre. Impressive. He's guarding the temple exit. Ayo, you there!
Exit prohibited, human. You have no authorization to leave the temple.
I wasn't planning on leaving.
Do you know why?
Because I don't want to.
Because the staff I'm holding is ancient. It was made at the beginning of the Narmer dynasty.
Fascinating.
Over 5,000 years ago.
Good for you.
The older a staff is, the more powerful it is.
I'm happy for you.
So you won't be able to get by me, no matter how hard you try.
A piece of advice. Get a life.
What a guy. Do not dare to leave the temple, human!
How many Aprils has your staff seen, friend?
5,000 years of primary power. That's since the Narmer dynasty.
I see your 5,000 and raise you $1,000. What's it going to be?
Huh?
I have a 6,000-year-old bat. It's positively dripping with power.
How do I know you're not lying, human?
When you'll see it, you'll flip. Something that beat up just has to be old. Look. Do you believe me now?
Stand back, human. I possess a 6,000-year-old bat whose power is so lethal that...
A little single-minded, aren't you? Impressive. Hey, what do you know? A mummy. I'd swear that... Okay, now I see. We're playing a shell game, are we? Well, these sarcophagi don't say anything to me. All the dough I've won after hearing, "Murray, old chap, 10 cents says you can't guess which one of the 3 bowls holds the marble."
Dan, a natural gambler, couldn't resist the temptation. So he decided to decipher the tricks behind the mystery of the 7 sarcophagi and the mobile mummy.
Aha! That's it. I win the shell game.
Dan said to himself, proud of having figured out the trick behind the sarcophagi.
It was easy. I just had to pay attention. The sarcophagus always moves several steps to the right of the last place it appeared. 5, to be specific. I wouldn't touch that for, well, half my salary. I'm sure that this would fit in well with one of those horror films Willie makes. Well, made, according to Eladio. Whatever made Willie want to make children's films now? This is out of my league. What does a mummy that kicked the bucket millennia ago want with a dagger? No reason. One of the mummies had it, to trim its fingernails, no doubt. It's old. Where's the trick? Incredible, but true. This is a royal stupid... Out of the frying pan and into the fire. Dan Murray, fooling around, first try. Did it work? Mine again. What's next? A spinning clown? It's cute. That half-wit Liz would probably like it. And why should I care? There it is. I'm not going to ask by what absurd logic it's here. I don't want to get dizzy. It hardly takes up any space. In the air, it seems so much bigger. The drawing has its charm. I've always been good at these things. As a boy, my room was full of street signs. Ayo yourself. Now, what was that about?
You will bring me 8 hieroglyphics. Not 7, not 9, not 6, not 10, not 3, not 15, but
8?
You said it!
Aya.
Aya.
You wanted little symbols? Now you have them. There's one. You wanted little symbols? Now you have them. There's one. You wanted little symbols? Now you have them. 4 at one time. That's me. You wanted little symbols? Now you have them. There's one. You wanted little symbols? Now you have them. There go 2.
Not 2, but 1. The duck is a hieroglyphic, but the one on the other side is a drawing. Sorry.
8 hieroglyphics mine eyes do see, said the oracle. Not 7, not 4, not 3, not...
Can we get to the point or what?
2. Now, at last, you will have to confront the 5 questions of Egyptian syntax. Not 1, not 9, not... Why are you looking at me like that, scribe?
Let's get to work.
Go ahead, then. First question. Identify the main verb in the following sentence. Not bad. Second question. What is the direct object of the following phrase?
The tar.
Good. You have chosen wisely. Third question. Which hieroglyphic acts as the nucleus of the subject in this sentence?
The girl.
Good. Not poor, not excellent, not satisfactory, not bad, neither here nor there, but good. Fourth and second to last question. One of the following hieroglyphics cannot be conjugated in the passive voice. Which is it?
The girl.
Astonishing. You weren't fooled by the double noun and the adjectival nucleus of the subject, eh?
You're talking to Dan Murray. Not to worry.
Fifth and last question. Which hieroglyphic begins the subordinate clause of the noun?
The
Exam passed. How did you do it?
By paying attention, said Dan. The answer in all cases was the hieroglyphic, in the same position in both the tablet and in the phrases that appeared for me to choose from.
What phrases?
Forget it. My life is more complicated than it looks. So let's get on with this book of stiffs.
Oh, yes, of course. Take this.
Oh, these bugs are disgusting. Couldn't you come up with anything worse for me?
It is the key that opens the door to the chamber,
that holds the book of the dead. Good. I'll just have to find the courage.
That is in.
In.
I can't do this to her. I love her.
Nothing worse than a love-sick oracle.
Give it back to me.
Take a seat and wait. Where's the book?
I'll never tell you. Never. I can't help you to do her in. My light, my joy. How many millennia have I loved her for? Not 4, not 7, not 8, not 12, not 1, not 13, not...
Have fun. I can't handle saccharin. I really can't. The worst thing is that the half-wit didn't give me the full scoop. I still don't know where the Book of the Dead is, but half a paycheck says that I find it with this pot. Oh, I don't think there's anything that I find so disgusting. Now that I think about it, the ones in the pond are all males, and mine is a female. Oh, it's locked. Cursed Book of the Dead! Half my paycheck says that the cows on the posts are gods. Both have a star. Do they fit together? Touchdown! And now?
Don't you dare. You'll end up feeling sorry for me, and then I'll have to destroy you.
Do I look like my name is Sister Daniela? No. Let's get on with it then. Which one of these 5 passages is it? Three crude slash marks. Anachronistic slot machine.
Silly fool! You're waking up the dead!
It's to make it more exciting, dear. Face of a bewildered guy. Falcon. Circle with a dot.
You're going to get us all sent to hell, Amenophes!
What's bothering you is that you'll be first. 3-legged creature. Black eye. Grocery bag.
Oh, please! Take pity on me, Amenophes!
Oh, it just doesn't pay to be a good person. Darling, hand over the pendant and go on your merry way.
Now that he had the pendant that controlled Cromha's robots, Dan was in the driver's seat.
Now for the false bottom of the sarcophagus. Hurry. Well, this guy's seen better days.
Right, Dan.
What's his problem?
He's in bad shape. He's completely brainless.
Finally, Dan had managed to teletransport Big Albert's body to Fly's laboratory. But now there was a new problem that they didn't have a solution to. Where was his brain?
No, Dr. Celsius. For the moment, let's leave Murray out of this.
But he's been in contact with Fly.
Without the brain, Fly can't reanimate Big Albert. And neither can you. You find that body, Doctor, or you will never see the brain again.
But...
Dr. Celsius, you may go now. Sit down, Miss Alea. Dinner will be served shortly.
I've already had a bite.
In the meantime, make yourself at home.
People don't kidnap me in my home.
Oh, you're not kidnapped, my dear.
Yes, 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 extremely kidnapped.
Now, let's not argue. Within an hour, you'll see things exactly as I do. Until then,
I'll start by getting rid of you, sir. Then I'll rescue Big Albert's brain. And then I'll get out of here. Without saying goodbye.
Liz, as always, was sincere and direct. She would put Fitzrandolph out of commission, steal Big Albert's brain, and escape from the Zeppelin without saying goodbye.
You are disconcerting. I've always said so. But allow me to remind you that my skin is as thick as an alligator's.
No, I can't bite you or knock you over the head.
I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Oh, don't worry. I'll figure something else out. Within an hour, what will happen?
Excuse me?
Dr. Zelsius. The pain will pass within an hour. William A. Fitzrandolph. Within an hour, you'll see things exactly as I do.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Me neither, but I'll find out. What do you want from me?
You always seem to know what I'm about to say. And now, can't you guess?
To get to know me better.
I'm trying to do that, but that's not my main reason.
To give me a refrigerator with a capacity for 978 books?
Nothing is farther from my mind, believe me.
To kill me?
No, never. I hold you in great esteem.
For me to interview you?
Well, for that, I'd only have to call your newspaper.
For me to be your biographer?
Disconcerting. Interested? I'll pay you well. You'll get to hobnob with the creme de la creme and,
No, you don't want me to do this. Because you don't want to look like a pig in your own biography.
Of course not.
In that case, forget it. I never lie.
Well, within an hour, you won't have to lie.
I could care less what you want from me. You, your things, your ego. Let's talk. The portrait behind me, is that you all prettied up?
Oh, no. My grandfather. A good man. He was a congressman.
You can't tell he's a monster at all.
No, my father either. But when he married my mother, who had skin like mine, he became a social pariah and lost everything. Now you know why I come from the lower classes and why that was not my rightful place.
Okay, but I still have no desire to write your biography. Let's get right to the point. What's going on with Big Albert?
Be specific, but don't get your hopes up. Within an hour, I won't tell you anything.
Does Big Albert have anything to do with MKO's new direction?
Any monster worth his salt has something to do with the new direction. And now, you as well.
What are you planning to do with Big Albert's brain?
Don't worry about him. When we find his body and reanimate him, Big Albert will be better than ever.
What does Dan Murray have to do with all this?
Very little, I hope. He's a good man, and it wouldn't be fair to make him suffer.
What is MKO's new direction?
We're dropping horror flicks. From now on, family pictures, children's films, romantic comedies, musicals.
There's something else. What is it?
Patience, miss. Tomorrow, you'll find out. You and everyone else.
What was Big Albert looking for in your office?
I'll tell you what he found. Problems.
Enough said. What's for dinner?
I don't know, but if you want something special, tell me, and I'll tell the chef to prepare it.
Picked at random. Benjamin Franklin, An American Life by Walter Isaacson. A good man, and a congressman to boot, my captor's grandfather. There are 2 safes, but I'm only interested in the top one, because that's where Big Albert's brain is. This is like Fitzrandolph's extra arm. Cold. It's a folding cart. You can't tell, but I know. It reminds me of Stacy, my first babysitter, only shorter. It leads to an elevator that goes down to ground level. It opens the glass dome that covers the balcony. That is, if it works the same way as in Jack Simmons' Zeppelin, that adventurer I interviewed recently. I can't reach it. I don't recognize it. And the label on top looks like the scrawl of someone in a hurry. Looks like the scrawl of someone in a hurry. The paring knife, the carving knife, the bread knife, the pâté knife. If only there was a center pole, I'd do my Liz Allaire reporter firefighter routine. Very bad. This should be next to the emergency exit. If I grab it, I would be taking it for granted that I'm planning on falling. And although tripping over things is fun, I'm not in the mood for that today. On second thought, I don't feel like being coherent. I bet the lower floor has a way out to the footbridge and that elevator Dr. Cheeky brought me up in.
Hold it, stranger!
Oh, neat! A robot from the Wild West!
Wanna taste my revolver's hot lid?
No. Where are your manners?
I don't follow etiquette. I follow orders. From Sheriff Fitzrandolph.
But you'll let me go out to the footbridge, won't you?
I swear on the buffaloes. No chance, greenhorn.
Okay. I'll use another route to escape. The little knife is the most harmless. It's a painting of... Ah! No.
Miss, why such a dramatic entrance? Are you afraid of something?
Hi. No. Yes. Don't get involved. 2012-14. Nice curtains. Bye.
Disconcerting.
Calm down, Liz. Don't get dramatic. It's a crocodile. A crocodile, yes. But in the painting, you can clearly see that it's not alive. So, calm down, okay? Ayo, Adrian.
How do you know my name?
I don't know. Is your name Adrian?
Yes.
Well, good. No need for introductions then.
But I still don't know your name.
I'm Liz. If you guess, I'll give you a kiss.
I wouldn't be able to guess it in a million years.
Ah, the kisses I still have yet to give. What are you making? Buns?
Deconstruction art, molecular cooking.
They look like buns.
They are breaded cacao sponges with an alginic acid with fresh fennel extract.
Oh, how nice. They look like buns.
The bubbling texturization of the content is enhanced by the subtle roundness that it gets from the mold. What do you think?
They look like buns to me.
With the syringe, I imbue the mixture with fresh fennel extract, which explodes in pearls upon contact with the palate.
I like you. Know why? Because of the hat.
Oh, I'm wearing it because I'm the chef of the Zeppelin.
I like it. It's ridiculous. It looks terrible on you, but it makes me laugh. Thanks. If you're the chef, why are you in the hallway?
Because I don't get along with the rest of the kitchen staff. They don't enjoy gastronomic arts, and they don't consider themselves to be artists and put their soul into what they do. They are dehumanizing the kitchen.
Adrian the chef. Brief bio and interests.
I'm the chef. I like cooking. Love it, cooking. I make up recipes.
Anything that doesn't have anything to do with cooking? Variety is the spice of life. Thanks.
No, nothing. Well, I am afraid of the cold.
The cold?
The cold.
Of the cold.
Of the cold.
Of the cold, said Liz. And at that very instant, she decided to help Adrian overcome his terrible phobia.
I'm a lousy cook. Can you give me a simple recipe?
Of course. What do you want to learn how to cook?
Something sweet. Very sweet.
Terrine of Sulis in syrup rolled in crushed pop rocks, glazed with pulverized M&Ms, and served on a bed of stewed Twizzlers. Only with a doctor's prescription.
Something very expensive for Anne-Marie, my smart sister.
Expensive? No, I'm sorry. I do seasonal dishes. Cheap. Very cheap.
Something that's 100% cholesterol.
Spanish-style potato omelet stuffed with octopus and brie, coated in foie gras puree, and deep-fried in salami oil. A Spanish tapas as an appetizer, although it works better in a sandwich.
Nothing. Aya!
Aya!
Where does this lead? No, it's cold. My chest is very exposed. I'm not going any further. His style is dubious, but the glasses are pretty. In the refrigerator, from top to bottom and left to right. Lobster, king crab, caviar, blue plastic bag, crab ketchup, seawater, and boxes full of who knows what. On the floor, boxes of surimi. And here, Cuban crabs. I don't want any of this. Or I do, but I'm not going to be the one that goes in there. I could grab a ski pole or a stick, but it's all frozen. Better not. Ayo, Adrian. What happens when you have to take something out of the freezer?
I try to avoid it. But if Mr. Fitzrandolph asks me for something frozen, I go in, I grab it, and I get out in a hurry.
Aya!
Aya!
Three that use bullets and one that doesn't. It has tranquilizer darts stuck in it. The target? This box is better. As Wilson's Seven Fingers knows very well, you shouldn't cover the hole under any circumstances. What a nag! It's full of mountaineering equipment. This. Why? I don't know. Or, yes. Who knows? Schnitzler's tranquilizer darts. Instantaneous mega strength. Those noises are unmistakable. It's a Malaysian parakeet.
I wish I could do something to help it, Liz said to herself, because it's having a terrible time.
Firearms make a lot of noise, and my head hurts. More and more. You don't scare me, you know? This one, which doesn't use bullets because I can't make too much noise. Precisely. It's a pistol for tranquilizer darts. I was the second best sharpshooter at the Mendelssohn Club, but now I'm going to fire as if I wanted to be the first.
And And that's how Liz calmed down the dangerous Malaysian parakeet.
It's asleep. It's good for raising and lowering the box. But if I use it, will the wall turn around and reveal his secret love nest? With Fitz Randolph, you never know. But how many tentacles does it have? I thought that the Malaysian parakeet never had more than 7. I won't open the box no matter how asleep it is. But the strap wrapped around it... mine. I want to eat, Alaskan king crab sautéed with lobster tails, Cuban crab, cod liver oil, Schlingwursten sauce, sturgeon eggs from the prairies, and testicles from an evil duck.
Adrian?
Mr. Fitzrandolph?
Alaskan king crab sautéed with lobster tails, Cuban crab, cod liver oil, Schlingwursten sauce, sturgeon eggs from the prairies, and testicles from an evil duck. Pronto.
And wouldn't you prefer a deconstruction of sushi with violet blossom fritters and...
I said pronto, Adrian.
I hear you.
And as far as Adrian was concerned, Liz had done all she could for him. The rest was up to him.
I'd be crazy to pick that up. Liz, you are. Very. Oh, in that case. Enough said. It has too strong a smell, and I'm not one for perfume. I like the way I smell. It has traces of chocolate. Chocolate. As soon as I escape, I'm making a cake for 12. I'll eat it all myself, and then I'll call the doctor. Okay, I'll extract the liquid from a pair of darts. I'm so good at scheming.
The first point of Liz's plan had just been completed. Would she manage to steal the brain and escape?
A speech about MKO's new direction. Looks like he's going to give it tomorrow. I'll have a good look at it later when I escape. I knew it folded up. I don't know why, but something tells me that this is going to turn out to be nonsense. Yes, yes, yes! Foolish foolishness! With the ski pole and the strap of the mold as a hook, I could stretch the ring and make it turn, or whatever. I'm turning it! If this works, I'm painting my nails electric blue to celebrate! And now... Oh, it shouldn't have worked. I don't have any nail polish on me. The best part is that now I have an escape route. I'll jump to the footbridge and take the elevator that's at the end that Dr. Cheeky brought me up in.
Another thing accomplished, Liz said to herself, happy to see that everything was turning out as planned.
Oh, I'm not happy. Stupid nail polish. What have I ever done to it? Does it want to make me cry? Does it think it's better than a... Wait, what is that on the ground? It's a... Why can I never get that word out? Doesn't matter. Whatever it's called, it would help me escape. I've decided that I'm not going to find the combination to open it, so I'll have to improvise a plan B. Ah! It's heavy! Yes, that's how I'll make sure it doesn't fall off the cart. There! The belt buckle will work to hook it on. Hooked. Dessert cart, strap, parachute. I've created a monster. Yes, yes, yes. The time has arrived to open the refrigerator.
And that's how Liz stole Big Albert's brain from the Zeppelin. You should have seen Dan's face when she arrived. Well, I left something out, didn't I? Oh well, my apologies. This head of mine.
Motorcycle coming now.
Huh? Liz?
What? Who's Liz?
How come us women always have to supply the brains?
Murray! Murray! Murray!
But where is my head? I already covered that part.
Needs tomato sauce.
So, as soon as Fly reanimated him, Big Albert told them why he had sneaked into Fitzrandolph's office.
Chips. Zelsius puts them into the brains of his monster actors so that they'll obey Fitzrandolph.
Chips?
Think of them as little music discs that, when they're inserted into the brain through the ear, broadcast recorded instructions, like Fitzrandolph is your master and stuff.
It doesn't make sense. Willie is doing all of this so that the monsters will make family entertainment pictures? There must be something more to it.
That was something that Liz was about to discover. But between her headache, which was getting worse and worse, and being absorbed in her reading, she didn't hear the door.
Sorry to interrupt you, gentlemen, but would you be so kind as to accompany me?
Liz! Run away! Get away! Run!
My terrible headache just went away. Mr. Fitzrandolph, how nice to see you. Don't worry, Dan. Mr. Fitzrandolph will take care of everything. Fitzrandolph is fab. Fitzrandolph loves us all.
Relax, Mr. Murray. In a minute, I'll implant a chip in your head that's quite similar to the one I put in Miss Allaire.
I'm waiting, Three Eyes.
Zelsius has really lost it if he believes that I'm going to sit here with my hands tied together until he puts his chip in me, said Dan.
Oh, what a guy. Your friend the insect will have to wait. I haven't developed a chip for mosquito brains yet.
Zelsius, he always manages to get me irritatedly furious.
Relax, Half Pint. We're gonna win this one. Hey, Half Pint.
What is it, Murray?
So, Zelsius made you mad, huh?
The worst thing is that I don't have my spittoon on me.
I don't know what spittle you're talking about, and I shouldn't want to know. Explain yourself.
When I get angry, I salivate. You see, Murray, my saliva is corrosive, like that of flies. It's like a solvent. When I get angry, my body generates corrosive saliva as a defense mechanism against whatever causes the anger.
How corrosive?
Not enough to corrode the metal of this cage, but enough to leave you without pants.
Fascinating. Do you have good aim spitting, Half Pint?
I'm the second best spitter in the Pendleton Club.
Spit for me.
What a guy. How could I spit on you?
Take good aim. I want your corrosive spittle to eat away the strap on my left hand.
But that's recklessly risky. What if I miss?
Don't worry about me. I still have the right one to break your face. Go for it. Know something? Something's wrong when I feel the need to ask an eminent scientist if he knows the differences between the words hand and foot.
I'm sorry, Murray, but you're very far away.
Thoughtful of me to arrive on foot, right? My feet are tied and... Okay, one goal.
It doesn't go down any lower?
Bingo. Hey, Half Pint.
What is it, Murray?
Try spitting on me again.
Okay, I'll try from here. Oh, no, I can't.
Oh, what's wrong now?
I'm out of saliva, Murray. My mouth is terribly dry.
I'll call Zelsius and you'll spit in his face. Deal?
Murray, I'm a scientist, not a killer. I won't discuss it. Anyway, we'll still be captive. At any moment, someone's going to come, see Zelsius, and our situation is going to get worse.
What did Zelsius tell you while his robots were tying me up and putting you in there?
The chip manufacturing process, where they're lodged in the brain, how they work. Oh, poor Zelsius.
Poor?
Murray, the big problem of scientists like Zelsius is that they can't publish their achievements in scientific journals. So they have to kidnap colleagues like me to share their advances with someone who understands what they're talking about.
Why is he preparing my chip and not yours?
Because each monster needs a different model. You non-monsters, on the other hand, are so alike, he'll put one in you that's identical to the one Liz has.
Do you think you could take Liz's chip out?
Possibly. It would be risky, but I trust that I could take it out of her brain cleanly.
Relax. As he said, he's preparing a chip that will transform me into Fitzrandolph's slave. Hey, Three Eyes!
Why are you making all that racket?
I have a question.
One and only one.
Do you know that the Half Pint wants to play you for a sucker?
What?
He says you're such an imbecile that he's going to escape right out from under your nose without you noticing.
Oh, yes?
And he can't be completely mistaken because he's lowered the cage and you haven't noticed.
Oh, disgusting insect! He's not going to want to try that again.
So, Half Pint, what's the anger level?
Overflowingly high.
Drool level?
Highly overflowing.
Do me a favor, don't miss.
And without further ado, Dan was finally free. He freed Professor Fly immediately and got ready to do something he'd been mulling over in his head for a while.
Hey, 3 hours.
Dr. Celsius, Mr. Fitzrandolph says that... Ayo, Professor. Have they convinced you yet?
Yes. Murray!
We have a visitor, shouted Fly. Dan welcomed the visitor with his usual grace, meaning that he immediately tied her up. Then Fly demonstrated his scientific ability by cleanly extracting the chip from Liz's brain.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, what?
It broke. A little piece is still lodged in her brain and I can't get it out.
So, what do we do now?
Forward, Ivan. Don't give up. Please, miss, don't you die.
Ayo, poet.
Poet I am. Truish. You're fine. Face fear. Shame overcome. Never give up. Don't you die, miss.
The poet of pain's message could not have been more clear. If she wanted to save herself, Liz would have to discover her one true wish. But to do so, she would first have to face her deepest fear and overcome her greatest shame. But how will I do that? She asked herself.
If there's nothing here... Oh, how kind. But that's me. Now I have gone completely crazy. Ugh, crazy and deaf. It has a typical lamp made of knots on it. For some strange reason, I know exactly what's inside each one of these boxes. For example, I ask myself what's in this one, and I answer, a pear. I'm not interested in what's inside. Of braziers. A round one. They're for Beverly Torrance, Fitzrandolph's secretary and special friend. Why? Women without all that bust are much sexier. I don't know if I believe you. Let's forget about it. I don't want to open it. Only I would think of hanging the jacket in a place like this. Let's see. This notebook looks familiar. Ah! I just remembered something. I caught Big Albert snooping around Fitzrandolph's office. Yes, yes, yes! I get stuck. Although this button... I just remembered something. Fitzrandolph lied. The new direction of the MKO is hiding something bigger. Yes, yes, yes! The speech that I'm reading on the other side is really a message that he wants to send to the entire country announcing the start of his campaign for Congress. He's putting alienating chips into anyone that opposes him. And he's making the monsters act in family films so that instead of fear, they give him the positive image with the public that he needs to win the election. It's Spencer McDundy, the Australian actor who's been pigeonholed in Scottish ghost roles. I was afraid of him for years. That guy on the motorcycle? Something about him doesn't sit right with me. Ah, I just remembered something. I escaped from Fitz Randolph on a motorcycle with a sidecar. Yes, yes, yes! Fitz Randolph stole my courage and put it in there. Wait a minute. How do I know that? I don't know, but I know. It's Spencer McDundy, the Australian actor who's been pigeonholed in Scottish ghost roles. In reality, I've always known that it was a normal coat rack, but my imagination is like that, and that's all that counts. Ever since it got dragon claws, it hasn't barked. Portable rain. Does it work? It works. Right then, I'll take it with me. I'm perfectly clean, but you never know. I don't like it. I don't want it. I don't know the combination, and I know I'm not going to be able to guess it just like that, but... I knew it.
I know the combination.
Hey, yo. You talk and everything. What is it?
Oh, get lost, female. I've seen Fitz Randolph open it out of the corner of my eye plenty of times.
Wonderful. What is it?
Get lost. Have you ever done anything for me?
No, never. What is it?
So why should I do something for you?
Because you're an angel. What is it?
An angel? Spencer McDundy, the biggest curmudgeon in Australia, and the rudest Australian in Scotland. You're on your own.
No matter how many times Liz asked, this portrait of Spencer McDundy would not answer. Liz would have to do something for him in order to get the combination to the safe.
They say that my first babysitter, what was her name? Hung it up here to distract me, and that it made me forget the man that makes us not want to bathe. Reminds me of Queenie, my beautiful sister, the painter. Ayo, Queenie!
5 paintings, little sister. Get it?
What?
Stop being thick and help me out. 5 paintings. 5 blasted paintings. For tomorrow.
Are you having an exhibit?
If I make it. But I'm dry, Lizzie. I don't know what in tarnation to paint.
But me? You paint so much better than I do.
Take that story somewhere else. I need ideas.
Okay, about what? I have no idea. Which?
Scenes, Lizzie. Megalithic scenes. Amazing. To take my breath away. Get it?
Yes, yes, yes. You know what? In the last few days, a ton of megalithic, amazing, breathtaking things have happened to me.
I don't need tons, just 5. Shoot.
I'll tell you. No, I won't tell you. How can that be? Right now, I can't remember anything.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Lizzie, don't give up. Use your noggin. Get it?
Okay, I'll try to remember 5 scenes to inspire you, said Liz.
You have an opening tomorrow. Let's talk about it. How many more paintings do you need for the opening tomorrow?
5. 5 darn paintings. When you think of something breathtaking, send it my way.
What gallery are you showing in?
Guess.
One of Dad's.
Bingo. Some darn painter fell through. And like always, Queenie, Sherry, a cover for me.
What's your work fetching these days? Lots, right?
Too much. If a painting has the flame-proof red Q that I use to sign all my paintings, it triples in price. That's absurd. Take Chartres. Is there anything more impressive than the Chartres Cathedral? Nothing. And who in tarnation signed that?
Let's leave your show aside for now. When did you get back from Paris?
Never. When in tarnation did you get back?
Where?
To Paris.
No more than an instant ago. Why?
Curiosity.
Yeah, talk about our family. 3 names of babysitters from our childhood. Time?
Emily, Roberta, and Anouk.
No, None of these is the name I'm looking for, but thanks. Have you heard anything from Anne-Marie?
Can it, Lizzie? I don't want to know anything about your sister.
And yours.
Don't get started. I didn't choose her.
Have you talked to Mom lately?
Yeah. I told her I was going to tattoo a Q on my forehead, and she screamed,
Jean-Michel, did you hear your daughter? For God's sake, she's an LR.
She's an LR. Same as always.
Let's not talk about family. Hiya.
Hiya.
Art books and painting supplies. 100% Queenie. The guy in the photo is Queenie's official boyfriend. He's crazy. I like him. An artist has no home in Europe except in Paris. Friedrich Nietzsche. It's not good to let oneself get carried away by disappointment. Once I was looking for a needle in a haystack. I like for things to work out on the second try. Ah, here's a scene that I remembered earlier. Here goes, Queenie. I escaped from a Zeppelin on a motorcycle. I started it up on the first try. Wow, I always thought that helmet would look better on me.
You're hyper, Lizzie. Don't let your brain overheat. I'm gonna keep thinking. Get it?
Ah, here's a scene that I remembered earlier. Here goes, Queenie. I caught Big Albert, the most intelligent man in the world, in the act of snooping in... You've really got that Big Albert guy on the brain.
Yes, I find his muscles very pleasing. You have no idea how much. I'm gonna keep thinking. Get it?
Ah, here's a scene that I remembered earlier. Here goes, Queenie. Fitzrandolph wants to go into politics. Can you imagine that? With his pompous... Do you really think he'll go around dressed like that?
But Lizzie, it's artistic license. I'm gonna keep thinking. Get it?
Queenie?
I'm reading you loud and clear.
Do you know what my deepest fear is?
That you'll be swallowed by a crocodile? From that time when we were pretending that Anne-Marie was Tarzan.
And you were Jane, and I was Cheetah, and Dad's car...
was a crocodile. You opened up the hood and put your head inside as if it was eating you, and it closed on you.
And I was in a coma for a week. Thanks. Hiya.
Hiya.
I hated Miss Harrington's sewing class, but now I'm glad. No doubt this is a dance floor, the one at my parents' house. Exactly. And there's the orchestra and Armando, the butler. Heyo, Armando.
Heyo. Heyo. But if it isn't my little Eliza. How are you, my dear?
Well, strange. What a lot of people, aren't there?
Ah, you're strange. Don't worry.
Thanks. There's a lot of people, huh?
Oh, yes. Half the county showed up at the dance. People who are very discreet and who follow the rules. Are you willing to dance for once?
No way. People always laugh at me when I dance.
Ah, since you came onto the dance floor, I imagine that you wanted to dance.
No way! Nothing makes me feel more embarrassed than... You know what, Armando? I'm going to dance. I will overcome my greatest embarrassment, as the poet of pain said I would.
Now you are talking. Show me your dance card and get out there on the dance floor.
Card?
Dance card. Don't you have one?
No. Will you let that go just once?
Impossible. Rules are rules. What would your mother say?
Jean-Michel, your daughter is on the dance floor without a dance card. For heaven's sake, she's in a lair.
As it should be. So, go get a dance card and come back when you have one.
Where can I find a dance card?
I am no expert on this type of fruit, but I heard that they grow in damp places.
You've brought a lovely orchestra.
Do you like it? I brought it for your mother because she loves flowers, but it didn't impress her as much as I'd hoped.
She only likes roses, and only hers. She loves to show them off. Are you sure I can't dance without a card?
I am sure, Eliza, you can't. Your mother would kick me out if she ever found out. Rules are rules.
Eya!
Eya!
He's in his habitat. I just remembered something. I scared an enormous polar bear in Fitzrandolph Zeppelin. Yes, yes, yes! Some drunk must have dropped it. Ah! I just remembered something. I had a violent argument with that jerk Dan Murray. Yes, yes, yes! Outrageous! What a nice design. It reminds me of someone, but in juicer form. How time flies. It smells good. Second button. All done. These generate a lot of foam. I know, because one Christmas we pretended that Anne-Marie was Santa Claus and I was his barber. Cards of all types grow on it. The fruit is too green. It's emaciated. That's scary. They're having a coffee clutch, talking about their things. Yes, I'll put it on top of the tree. Although, am I tall enough? Thanks. I love wearing high heels. I don't dare. Ah, here's a scene that I remembered earlier. Here goes, Queenie. I scared a polar bear. Can you believe it? I stood right in front of him. I like it, but, don't I look a little strange?
You are strange, sister. Very strange. I'm gonna keep thinking. Get it?
Ah, here's a scene that I remembered earlier. Here goes, Queenie. Fitz-Randolph Mansion, Horror Film Awards ceremony, sitting in a falcon spirit, a jerk known as Dan Murray goes up against... Hey, how is it that you've only put him in it?
I'm sorry, Lizzie. Murray is breathtaking.
Thanks to Liz, Queenie had made 5 lovely paintings.
What's the problem?
I've run out of flameproof red. I always sign my name in flameproof red. It might seem silly to you, but without my signature, it's as if I didn't paint these paintings.
Okay, I'll go out and get you some.
Now, on a Saturday night?
Tonight is Saturday night?
Little sister, in Paris, it's always Saturday night.
This reminds me of my first, what was it called? It's been a long time since I've seen cards this ripe and plump. One of them comes with a pen, and I know what to use it for. A dance card. And the first one already belongs to someone. Care to dance?
Eliza, dancing the tango with you would be enchanting. But unfortunately, the orchestra doesn't know how to play tangos. Eh? How did you know that?
No idea. It just happens to me sometimes.
Desconcerting.
So, then, shall we skip the tango?
Under no circumstances. Rules are rules.
Okay, I'll teach the orchestra to play the tango myself.
You can try if you like, but remember, the instruments have to sound in unison, and it's almost certain that not all of them should be heard.
Hey, yo, Armando.
What do you have to say, Eliza?
Can't we skip the tango?
But the child, rules are rules. What would your mother say? Do you want me to get fired?
I didn't remember you being so short.
It's that you grew a lot in very little time, my child. You were much later than your sister Anne-Marie in getting your growth spurt.
Of course, I didn't want to be first. I can't get the orchestra to play the tango well. What am I doing wrong?
You only have to remember 2 things. 1, the instruments must start playing at the same time, following this rhythm. Pum, 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 pa-da-pum. And 2, to play a tango, you don't need all the instruments. You have to select the ones that you want to hear.
Eya!
Eya! Now that sounds like a tango. You did it. Let us dance, Eliza.
2012, 2012, 1-4. 2012, 2012, 1-4.
Liz, by mustering the courage, overcame her greatest embarrassment and danced in front of the many guests in the room, getting something in exchange.
Half a button? After all I've done? Thanks. You dance the tango marvelously, Armando.
And you are tremendous, spectacular, disconcertingly spectacular.
Very unusual shade of red. Here goes, Queenie. If I tell you I have some flame-proof red...
I love you. I'll take you out in the town. I'll sign the paintings, and we'll paint the town red.
Okay. No. Yes. But it's not that. It's much simpler.
Does it do anything for you?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Hiya, Lizzie. Let me know if you need anything else, all right?
Okay, thanks. Hey, ya. So, what do you have to say for yourself now? Do you like to have your head on your shoulders?
Look, it's all the same to me. Is that your sister?
The same? Yeah, it's my sister.
Thank you.
Huh?
It's been a long time since I've seen a female that was so female.
Oh, stop. A simple thank you would have been nice.
And you're not welcome. 13 to the right, 8 to the left, 7 to the right. We're even. Now get lost.
Finally, Liz had done something for Spencer McDundy, and he was grateful to her.
I've gotten my courage back, and I should be happy, but... what's Queenie got that I don't got?
But Liz had managed to gather up sufficient courage so... Finally, she confronted her worst fear and came out alive. What's more, inside the crocodile's mouth, she found half a button.
But didn't I have the other half? But Dan? Jerk?
Dan no jerk. Dan strong.
Why are you talking that way? Can't get your verbs?
Dan not smart. Dan strong. But Dan words difficult. Dan no wish.
It seems like I'm supposed to find my one true wish here.
Dan strong. Dan one true wish.
Finally, Liz had found her one true wish in the flesh, in the person she least expected to find it.
No. There's no wish about it. Nothing.
Dan strong.
This can't be happening to me.
Liz, companion of Dan.
This has to be a nightmare.
Liz Strong. Fight! Combat! The fight, Liz. Manny Brown. Rico Sandretti.
Murray!
Where are those tickets?
Murray! Come here for a minute.
Tickets. 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 Tickets.
Try not to disturb Liz. She's relatively stable and she's out of danger, but who knows when she'll wake up.
That's not my problem.
As far as the other problem goes, which is to say, how we are finally going to get free of Fitzrandolph, everything's been taken care of.
Define everything.
First, I'll construct a chip extractor to liberate the rest of Fitzrandolph's victims safely.
Now I'll need you to get me 1 or 2 components, said Fly. After all, you're still my volunteer. Plus, you'll have to make sure to keep Fitzrandolph away from here, he continued. He can't find out that we've gotten free.
Fascinating. And the part about the escape?
That's the best of all. Big Albert is at the end of this hallway with the Immaterial Man and the Poet of Pain. 3 of the most brilliantly lucid and lucidly brilliant minds of our time. At this moment, they are designing a master plan that will sink Fitzrandolph's plans.
Oh, and I suppose that you also want me to help them, right?
Murray, you're a man of action. Leave the thinking to the professionals, okay?
Oh, yeah? You know what action I feel like taking right now? Breaking your face.
What a guy.
For tea bags. A drink for sissies. Ha! He uncovered this whole story.
I spy.
What do you spy?
Something. What does it start with? It starts with a S. Superation.
Shaker! I can't bother him. He's working on a master plan to put an end to Fitzrandolph. Let's see if she wakes up once and for all, and I get my tickets back. Maybe it opens the door. Oh, close, but no cigar. Smells like gunpowder. Dan Murray, 7 years old. The gun store of Bill Tuxon, pipe aficionado. My friend Sonny distracted Bill. I emptied the pipe and refilled it with gunpowder. Result? Dan and Sonny grounded for 3 weeks. Bill Tuxon in the hospital for 4. But today it's not a pipe. Let's give it a try. I hope I learned my lesson. When I filled Bill Tuxon's pipe with gunpowder, the result was disastrous. feel like kicking it. I would have rather kicked it, but here it is. He's been thrashed by one of his own robots. Ingenious way to camouflage the entrance to the laboratory. Whatever else Willie may be, he's a guy who knows how to do things right. It's even uglier than Fly and the Poet put together. How disgusting. I don't know how zombie flicks ever got to be in style. Bingo, there's Willie watching a flick that Eli Edmund, that guy who's painted blue is showing. Although it's more of an interview than a flick. Main characters, a dark-haired Amazon, a greasy fat guy, and Liz Allaire. Back to work.
Well, if it isn't my buddy Murray. Stop the film, Kajanowski.
Whatever you say, Mr. Fitzrandolph.
Celsius already let you go? How are you?
Better than you.
Are you sure?
Just what I said. Fitzrandolph is fab.
That's better. I'm glad to have you on my side.
Good for you. Fitzrandolph loves us all.
What a guy. Wit and style in spite of everything.
Working?
I'm just finishing watching a short advertisement that we just filmed. As soon as I'm done, I'll stop by Celsius Laboratory and see how everything is going down there. Wait for me there, okay?
Don't go down to the laboratory because Celsius has a ton of work.
Then he'll appreciate the support of his boss, don't you think? And if he's goofing off, he'll snap to it.
It's awfully cold.
Thank you, Murray, but I dress warmly. I won't catch a cold.
Everything's under control.
I know, but I'm a bit of a micromanager, you know. I like to be on top of everything.
Because... never mind. Forget it. How'd the screening go?
Smooth sailing. The film transmits exactly what it should transmit.
What's the film you're watching?
Tomorrow, you'll find out, Murray.
You don't trust me? Fitzrandolph is fab.
Of course I trust you, but later when I finish watching it, come by my office and I'll tell you. Is it a deal?
Deal. I'm out of here. Fitzrandolph is fab.
What a guy. Start it up again, Kajanowski.
Yes, sir.
Bonbon, Dan Murray to the rescue. Honey, I'm Dan Murray, and you are...
Get out of here, imbecile. Don't you know who I am?
No idea.
I'm Eva Murte, the Queen of the Scream, and this is the Grim Reaper. The two actors the most hated by anyone with a modicum of ethical sense.
Good for you.
Dear, this imbecile doesn't know who we are.
I'm sleepy. You kill him.
I wish. But you heard Mr. Fitzrandolph. From now on, we have to behave ourselves.
Fitzrandolph is fab.
Fitzrandolph loves us all.
Is it my imagination, or are you two a little sadistic?
I love kitties.
Me? I love little birdies.
Fascinating.
Cats are nice and crunchy.
Birds even more so.
Fatso.
Pig.
Old man.
Filthy.
I love you.
I adore you.
Fascinating. Two things that you like, off the top of your heads.
The sobbing of a child.
Funerals.
Why does Fitzrandolph want you to behave yourselves?
Because now we're his spokespeople, imbecile.
His spokespeople, stupid.
Speaking for what?
Of something we're not authorized to tell you about.
If we told you, we'd have to kill you.
But we can't kill people either.
I see. What a mess. What are you doing here?
Waiting for Fitzrandolph to let us go, imbecile.
Waiting, stupid.
I'm leaving.
Aya, imbecile.
Aya, stupid.
It looks like the one Looney Tunes was wearing at the party last night. Nothing in the pockets. Brave sadist. Whose is this? Let's see who this belongs to. Mystery solved. Liz Allaire's press pass. That's it. But I'm curious about this. Although I hardly know you, I know you'll be an important person in my life. And signed by Zelsius. Is that pig trying to hook up with Liz? I'll show him. But then, why do I care? It's not as if I were interested in that half-wit. Let's see what else.
And that's how everything ended up for Dan Murray. He found the tickets that he wanted so much, he went home, he had a nice siesta on the sofa, and counted the minutes until Friday night. Although, who are we trying to fool? We all know that Dan wasn't there for the tickets, right? Anyway.
At last, I have what I want. I could get out of here right now, but what would that band of incompetents in the laboratory do without me? Let's get this thing over with. There's something sitting on it. A letter and 3 numbers. Who knows? One number and 3 letters. What can they be for? Willie and the Space Clown are in there watching a film made by Liz and 2 second-rate actors.
Put it on pause, Kajanowski. What is it, Murray?
I repeat, don't go down to the laboratory because Zelsius and I need our privacy, huh?
Although I hardly know you, I know you will be an important person in my life. Yours, Barry Zelsius. What a guy. Murray, my friend, you're a fountain of surprises.
If you only knew.
And Zelsius, too. Who would have guessed? Anyhow, I won't mess up your plans. I'll cancel my visit to the laboratory and I'll leave you two alone. Deal?
Deal.
I hope that Willie keeps his mouth shut, because that lie could do a lot of damage to my reputation, thought Dan. Because I have too many girlfriends who would be more than a little surprised. But anyway, in exchange, I get the tickets and Willie's word that he won't go into the laboratory.
Start it up again, Kajanowski.
Yes, sir.
I'll dial the 4 digits from the note. Elevator 0, Murray 4. Smashing Murray. Although I hardly know you, I know you'll be an important person in my life. Will this work, half pint?
Hey, the thing in the center is one of the glass things that Celsius uses to charge the chips. There are no two ways about it. I'll finish what I'm doing and then I'll take it apart.
Will this work, half pint?
Oh, of course it will. Why didn't I think of that before? In all these components, there's sure to be something similar to a chip. Murray, with this, I have everything I need to build a reliably safe chip extractor. Let me work for a bit and I'll have it in no time.
Thanks for the components, Murray, said Fly. Give me a little while to work on this, and I'll have the chip extractor shining and ready in no time.
Hey, Looney, thanks for the tickets. I was thinking that I have an extra one. I know boxing ain't your thing, but... So anyway, get better, okay? You've gotta be strong, Liz. Strong. Just like a rock. Dan Strong. Liz, companion Dan. Liz, strong. Liz, break it.
Finally! I was dying to get a chance to talk to myself. I'm gonna give myself a piece of my mind. Ayo! Ayo! How's it going? Here I am. Ah. And you? Here also. How nice. Well, yes. Fitzrandolph is fab. What? Fitzrandolph loves us all. I never say fab. It's never too late to change, Liz. Change to say fab. Change so that William A. Fitzrandolph can be the first monster in Congress.
Finally, Liz understood that if she wanted to get back to being herself, she would have to free her other from the yoke of Fitzrandolph.
It's full of strange things. Let's see. A clamp. And a magnet. Pros. Better to have these two things than not. Cons. And why do I want them? Ayo! Ayo! Do you have any electric blue nail polish? No, but I wish I did because I've been wanting to paint my nails since yesterday afternoon. Me too! Ever since I escaped from a Zeppelin. Me too. It's amazing how alike we are, Liz! Do you know how I know that you're not me? But Liz, I am you. By your makeup, Liz, I would never make myself up like that. That wasn't me. The makeup director insisted that these were my ideal colors. Well, they look terrible on you. Fitzrandolph loves us all. That bad? So bad that I feel embarrassed for you. Me. I'll be right back. Nora, are you there? Ugh, what a pain. Where were you going? The makeup director isn't here, and on top of that, she took her things. Huh. Now what? That's what I say. Fitzrandolph is fab. I have to tell you something about Fitzrandolph. Fitzrandolph has brainwashed you, and I'm grateful to him. It's important to keep these things clean. Fitzrandolph is fab. You escaped from his Zeppelin, don't you remember? Of course I remember. But I was mistaken then. Fitzrandolph loves us all. He's a friend of Dan Murray, that jerk. No, of that jerk? Yes, Liz, of that jerk. That can't be. I don't believe it, Liz. Let's drop Fitzrandolph. I will always follow him. Fitzrandolph is fab. Aya, Liz. Aya, Liz. Ayo, ayo. Has the makeup person come back? Wait here for me. You'll see how there's makeup in here. No, but this bracelet goes. It's not my style, and I won't let Liz wear it. Or watch a pair of animals hitting each other. How is Fitzrandolph affecting her in this terrible way? I can't go. Liz told me to wait here for her. Nothing? Nothing. Was this like this before, or has someone rearranged the buttons? Are they trying to make me cry? Well, if it isn't Anne-Marie!
Although Liz still didn't know it, Anne-Marie's help was absolutely essential. So then, what did this help consist of?
To Anne-Marie Allaire for her study of music at the most prestigious school in the country, Juilliard, in New York. It's frightening to think that Anne-Marie studied business in California and music in New York simultaneously. She commuted back and forth by plane every day, but that's not the worst part. In the meantime, she took advantage of the experience to earn a flight attendant certificate. That jacket looks familiar. Is this your jacket?
A client gave it to me, comma, a boxer, comma, the guy with the tickets, comma, but it's not my style, as you know, period. If you like it, comma, it's yours.
I don't like it. I'll keep it. It's really ugly. Thank you. Ugh, you'd have to like sports a lot to wear this. If you turn it, the table turns and it becomes a love nest. Ah, no, I was mistaken. If you turn it, it comes off. How simple and effective. I seem to remember seeing Queenie painting it. I could touch it, but I haven't washed my hands in a long time. Better not get it dirty. Hey, yo, Anne-Marie!
Welcome, comma, Elizabeth, period. The Allaire Gallery thanks you for having inspired Queenie to paint these 5 paintings, period.
You've talked to her! Finally! I knew you two would work it out.
Incorrect assessment, period. She sent them to me by messenger with a note, period. Postscript, colon. She also attached the voodoo painting in the window, period.
Ah, yes, I saw it when she was starting to paint it.
Opening parenthesis. I hope that doesn't affect you too much, ellipsis closing parenthesis.
Why would the voodoo painting affect me?
Because of what happened when Mom and Dad took us to New Orleans, period.
What happened when Mom and Dad took us to New Orleans?
You still can't remember it? Question mark. An old woman, dash, a witch, dash, gave you a doll and told you that if you put 2 objects belonging to someone on it, it would turn into a voodoo doll, comma, and that's what you did, period.
How did we make the voodoo doll?
You cut a lock of hair from a girl and you put it on the doll as a wig, period. Then you took her handkerchief and you tied it around the doll as if it were a skirt, period.
What happened to the girl we made the voodoo doll for?
You said that the doll had accidentally fallen into a hole filled with mud, and that under the laws of voodoo, the girl had also fallen, comma, just after that, period. The girl got very mad and we never saw her again, ellipsis.
What was the name of the girl we practiced voodoo on?
Don't you remember? Question mark. She was with us for years as a babysitter, colon. Her name was Stacy, period.
That name doesn't mean anything to me.
How strange! Exclamation mark. You were obsessed with her for years, comma, and compared her to everything you saw, colon. A vase, comma, a crane, comma, a suitcase. Opening parenthesis. One of the big kind. Exclamation mark closing parentheses, comma, ellipsis.
Well, no, I don't remember. But people have been messing with my brain a lot lately. You play other instruments besides the piano, right?
I have certificates in piano, comma, classical guitar, comma, violin, comma, cello and percussion, period. Wait, Control Z colon, not cello, comma, I still have another year to go, period.
What happened when Mom and Dad took us to New Orleans?
You still can't remember it? Question mark. An old woman, a witch, gave you a doll and told you that if you put two objects belonging to someone on it, it would turn into a voodoo doll, and that's what you did, period.
What do you think about all this?
That Queenie and you threw Stacy into the well, and that you invented the connection to the doll to avoid getting chewed out, period. There's no such thing as magic, period, end of paragraph.
Let's drop the voodoo topic. Something very strange happened to me. I spoke to myself.
Elizabeth, you're always doing that, period. Opening parenthesis. I wonder when you'll get some focus and stop doing it. Period, closing parenthesis.
You always look like you have everything under control.
One mustn't let oneself get carried away by emotion, Elizabeth, period. Even when you're, shift lock, extremely and terribly angry, shift lock, Always remember this, to analyze your feelings dispassionately, period, end of paragraph.
Eya!
Exclamation point.
Randolph is fab.
Huh?
Randolph loves us all.
Aha! Now I know who's making the other Liz say the silly things she says. It has a record on it like the ones for music,
Randolph
but
is
bigger.
Fab.
There's something on top.
Randolph loves us all.
It comes with a parachute.
Randolph is fab.
It's a musical instrument, and as such, I'm no good at it. Yuck! These things are supposed to be made of animal intestines. These creatures like it if you speak to them in their language. Me, Liz. Liz, thank rock.
Dan Strong. Liz, welcome.
Dan, big knife. Dan, give to Liz.
Liz, no throw knife.
Liz, second best markswoman Mendelssohn Club.
Dan, no club. Dan, test Liz. Liz, bad thrower. Liz, no knife.
Knife work bad. Knife very bad.
Knife good. Liz, bad. Liz, eat apple. Liz, get strong.
With her pride in her marksmanship wounded, Liz decided that she would take the knife-throwing test that Dan was proposing.
Great idea. Ayo, Dan.
Ayo, Liz.
Liz, knife test more.
Liz, great thrower. Dan, surprised.
Ha! Because Liz, trick. Liz put magnet in apple.
Dan, no word magnet. Liz, great thrower. Liz, keep Dan knife.
Liz say, Dan, thank you.
And so, thanks to her ingenuity and Dan's tiny vocabulary, Liz passed the knife-throwing test.
I wish I knew how to play it. I have a tom-tom. Could you play it for me?
Of course. Period. Do you have the sheet music? Question mark.
No.
Elizabeth, comma. I never play without sheet music. Period. I never improvise, comma. So, colon, give me the sheet music for the tom-tom, comma, and I will play it for you whenever you like. Period.
Ayo, Dan.
Ayo, Liz.
Dan live alone in jungle?
Dan, bachelor shack. Dan, bring women to shack. Liz, want go Dan shack?
Liz, never first date. Dan, not friends?
Jungle, many bachelor shacks. Witch doctor, Dan, best friend.
Witch doctor, sheet music, tom-tom?
Music sheet.
Correct.
Witch doctor have, but he no give. He angry.
What witch doctor like?
Witch doctor like sport. Witch doctor and me always see animal fights together.
Witch doctor live far?
Witch doctor live close, above Dan head.
Witch doctor talk no more. Liz speak about crocodile. You fight crocodile?
Dan strong. Dan great warrior. Dan throw knife crocodile far.
Liz enter crocodile mouth.
Dan no believe. Liz crazy.
Life is crocodile. Sometimes stuffed animal, sometimes bite.
Dan understand. No.
Crocodile talk no more. Dan know Fitz Randolph?
Dan no word fit run down.
Here we go again. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Liz.
Dan see Liz eat paper?
Dan no see. Liz eat, so Dan see.
I have two pieces that say Martin Foulfool Erickson versus Dean.
You give Dan. Dan give witch doctor friend. Witch doctor smile.
And witch doctor give tom-tom music to Liz?
Yes. Witch doctor give Dan and Dan give Liz. If Liz give Dan and Dan give witch doctor.
Liz give. Finally, authentic sheet music for tribal tom-toms. The robots march to his
Fitz
rhythm.
Randolph is fab. Fitz Randolph loves
I'm
us
not going
all.
to stick it in him, but let's see how he does with a little piece of his apron missing. He seems okay. I've got the sheet music for the tom-tom. Will you play for me?
Of course! Exclamation point.
Is it just me, or does it move when the tom-tom is playing?
Hello? Question mark. No, comma, I'm not interested in contracting your services, period. I'm telling you that I'm happy with my telephone company, comma, miss, period. I just told you that, shift lock, I'm happy with my telephone company. Goodbye! Exclamation point, shift lock. And that crazy Elizabeth? Question mark. Well, comma, I'm not quitting in the middle of the piece, ellipsis.
Best not to tell her I took this, because she'd never believe me. If I shape it a little with the knife, it reminds me of someone. Now it really is a voodoo doll. Yes, yes, yes! Goodbye, Dr. Cheeky.
And that was how Liz became herself again, freeing her alter ego from the alienating influence of Fitzrandolph. Let's take a look.
Fitzrandolph's not around. Fitzrandolph is around.
Eva Morte and the Grim Reaper? Huh.
Ladies and gentlemen, come up front. We're gonna start filming. Places. Lights. Camera.
Action!
Liz!
We have to stop it, Dan.
What?
Fitzrandolph. He's going to run for Congress. But the monsters scare people because of his horror films, and that's negative for his campaign. That's why he wants to make family pictures.
And he's putting chips in the brains of the monsters that refuse to go along with him.
Yes!
Like the Grim Reaper and Eva Morte.
Yes, yes, yes. He used them to make a film where I interview them and they say that everyone should vote for Fitzrandolph because...
Fitzrandolph loves us all.
He's completely changed my life.
His dream of equality has given my life new meaning.
With Fitzrandolph, we will be free.
Tomorrow, 3,000 copies of his propaganda film will be shown all across the country.
I know where the film is. I'll try to steal it.
No, no, no. I have a better idea.
Said Liz. I'll film a new movie in which Eva Morte and the Grim Reaper tell the truth. This is the plan. We'll make a new film where Eva Morte and the Grim Reaper tell the truth. You'll switch the films, and ours will be the one that people see tomorrow. Good. I'll be thinking about how to do the switcheroo, said Dan.
But I doubt that those two sadistic monsters will collaborate with you, and even less so with the chips.
At last this has a solution. Problem with your free will? Sick of the weight of that brain ship that you can never get free of? Don't despair. At last there's a solution. Presenting incredible Professor Fly's patented chip extractor.
Fascinating!
It's the most fantastic invention ever.
Fascinatingly incredible, isn't it? But that's not all. If you buy the incredible Professor Fly's chip extractor, you'll receive not one, but two extractors. I repeat, not one, but two of the incredible Professor Fly's chip extractors. Want to leave your friends with their mouths hanging open? Stop thinking about it and take action.
The extractors were absolutely perfect. But once they were free of Fitzrandolph's influence, Eva and the Grim Reaper began to show their true faces by refusing to cooperate. They got ready to leave, ruining Liz's plan, when the self-sacrificing Dan Murray got ready to step across the line that separates the men from the heroes.
Wait. I'm about to do something that's going to make me hate myself for the rest of my life.
Are you going to humiliate yourself, stupid?
Sounds interesting, imbecile. Let's see.
The time has come. Take a deep breath, Murray. Punches, black eyes, broken noses, cracked ribs, gratuitous violence.
We're listening, stupid.
Go on, imbecile.
Manny Brown, Rico Sandretti, Los Angeles Stadium, Friday night. The tickets are yours.
And that was how Dan Murray, by denying himself, transcended his nature and made himself into a legend. The idea worked very well. The two actors agreed to collaborate on a new version of the interview in exchange for the tickets, so they went on the set with Liz while Dan thought of how he would replace the new version for Fitzrandolph's copy.
Fascinating. Half my paycheck says that what he's carrying is the film and that he's headed for his office. Meanwhile, let's see what Emil has to say. Ernie, Kaidanovsky. Shoot, he's not here. But he did leave the spray gun for cleaning off graffiti that he pointed at me when he was pretending to be a space clown. Closed, of course. That might make sense in a way. Done. It fits perfectly into the keyhole. Yes, the moment to visit Willie's office has arrived. And so, Willie, have you called the people to have it copied?
Yes, they'll be here in a little while, and then they'll copy the film ipso facto.
Good for you. Now that I'm completely and exclusively at your service, Fitzrandolph is fab. There's something I need you to clear up for me. Why don't you quit smoking?
Because I won't. It's my health, my breath, and my money. If it bothers someone, who cares? I am William A. Fitzrandolph, and I have earned the right to be above these matters.
Isn't that guy over there Bobby Russell, the masseur for the freaks?
That guy? Murray, don't you know anything about the movies?
Nothing, and proud of it.
That's Carl Doherty, one of...
When Liz has the film ready, thought Dan, I might be able to make the switch when Willie's looking the other way. But no, Willie would see me. I can't take that chance. He can't see me.
The most famous actors. He's been retired for the last 4 or 5 years.
Whatever you say, but he looks an awful lot like Bobby Russell. What's this film about?
It's a short that will be shown tomorrow in over 3,000 of my theaters all over the country.
The film is a short? Wasn't it an interview?
In reality, it's an advertisement in the form of an interview. The start of the election campaign of the future Congressman William A. Fitzrandolph.
Why do you want to get involved in politics?
To do justice. My grandfather was a congressman, but that road is closed to me because of my physical appearance. Murray, we monsters should have exactly the same rights as everyone else. And thanks to William A. Fitzrandolph, we will have them.
Wait, I have more questions. Why did you have Liz do the interview on the film?
She's intelligent and naive, so she doesn't have any known biases against one ideology or another. Plus, her family is very respected in this state, both by business people because of her father and her sister, the businesswoman, and by more bohemian people because of her other sister, the painter.
Why do you include the Lord of the Night and Eva Morte in the recording when everyone hates them?
People hate them because of how they are. But I've offered a completely new and different image of them. Sweet, lovable, generous. My message is, if William A. Fitzrandolph was able to change them, he can change anything.
Your vision of equality is very good, but some people may think it's ugly to manipulate people.
First, no one will ever know. Second, a lofty goal requires a lofty sacrifice. If it's necessary to sacrifice the freedom of a few to ensure the common good, you can count on William A. Fitzrandolph to do it.
Let's change the subject. I'm out of here.
Good luck with Celsius.
Tell me, Willie, I have a good reason for you to quit smoking.
Oh, yes?
Your election campaign. Tobacco is bad for your image. Mothers won't want you to hold their babies.
That's true, but...
But what? Fitz-Randolph loves us all, but his breath stinks. Come on, the pipe, Willie.
Murray, you are a true friend.
Lit and everything, Fitz-Randolph is fab. I'm out of here. Great idea. I'll light the fuse and run. Technical KO. Kajjanowski should know better than to leave his things lying around. Anyone could come in and steal them. Peter, what's his name? A scientist of great renown.
I spy...
What do you spy?
something.
What does it start with?
It starts with R.
Rash. Rigor mortis.
I don't want such eminent minds to lose time on my account. Yes, sirree, Dan Murray is taking control. You with the paint, come over here. I'm gonna fix you up.
Careful where you shoot that, okay?
Ah! Ah! No! Clean as a whistle. Now we just have to wait for
Looney Tunes to get here with the film. And it's labeled exactly like the original.
At last, everything was ready for the exchange of films. The immaterial man took the can from Liz and followed Dan until...
Willie, there's something I'm still not clear on. Are you sure that guy over there isn't Bobby Russell, the masseur for the freaks?
Oh, my friend Murray, your scorn for the movies is legendary. As I told you, it's Carl Doherty. He's one of my biggest stars.
With that face? And what are the smallest ones like?
Do you know how many millions of...
Okay, Willie. Your dog Zelsius still hasn't managed to get his hands on me, so I'm not under your control. What's more, I oppose you, and I'm going to crush your political future. Listen. With the help of Eva Morte, the Grim Reaper, and Liz Allaire, I made a film that deals you a technical knockout. Maybe you can't see him, but at my side is the immaterial man who just exchanged your camp for mine. Tomorrow it'll be shown in all your theaters, and the day after that, Willie, my friend, you'll be ruined. So, how's it feel?
What a guy. You almost had me going there for a minute, kid. It's the copying company. We'll give them the can and you do what you want.
Hey, this...
calls for a celebration. Yes. The next day, spectators in over 3,000 movie theaters in the United States became aware of the true intentions of William A. Fitz-Randolph.
Fitz-Randolph's not fab.
Fitz-Randolph loves only himself.
He forced me to pretend that I had changed to promote his election campaign.
His dream of equality for monsters is a lie, and the only monster that matters to him is William A. Fitz-Randolph.
Under Fitz-Randolph, we will all be slaves.
Fitz-Randolph's not fab.
That's who William A. Fitz-Randolph really is. A magnate who manipulates actors to achieve his diabolical ends. He lies, makes others lie, and behind his respectable appearance he hides a thirst for power.
It didn't take long for the consequences to appear. The monster actors refused to keep working for MKO. Instantaneously, the company's stock hit rock bottom, as did the credibility of its owner, William A. Fitz-Randolph, and his dreams of political greatness. His ally, Dr. Zelsius, came out of it better. Thanks to the chip that Fly implanted in his brain, he discovered that his mechanical aptitudes could make many people very happy.
Murray! The article is fantastic! Magnificent! Who'd have thought that the cynical veteran and the enthusiastic novice would make such an adorable couple?
Couple?
No way.
With you?
Never.
Cretin.
Half-wit.
Jerk.
Loony.
Good.
Well, good.
Nice story. I like how you told it.
Tomorrow it's your turn. Which will you choose?
You'll find out tomorrow. So, dinner?
I can't wait. Hey, I'll race you to the kitchen.
The winner comes in second. 2012-14.